niggas on it. They used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Y'all's the hater and all of my moves, but now niggas on it. They used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it.
What up, what up? We back. Realest podcast ever. Back on this content journey, man. We got a lot of shows backlog. We've been doing a lot of work the last few weeks. We got a lot more work to come up. But today, this show is not work. This is fellowship. This is an opportunity to kick it with some friends, with some brothers, with some family. Talk about all of the ins and outs of the content game, everything that's going on, all the hot button topics, all the controversial topics. We're gonna talk about Nerd Man in a minute. I ain't forget about the Avies, you know what I'm saying? With the white Jeep and the white backpack. I did not forget.
Who is this?
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that in a minute.
Times. It was beautiful.
It was great times on Black Twitter, man. Today we got the duo officially known as Breakfast Bars, and more importantly, DJ Young Legend Nerd at the Cool Table. Welcome to the Realest Podcast.
Thank you.
It's like the podcast Grammy. If you make it up here,
we on.
I think you've been on here before.
Sort with size, sorta.
Yeah.
But it's different, more energy, different time for y'all. You know, y'all.
This is your first time actually on this.
Remember we did the show years.
Social media.
Yeah. It's your third appearance.
No, Nerve was the fucking I'm talking about. Nerve got one of the most classic episodes.
Different though, but
Yeah.
This was when who else was on there with us?
Ayo.
Didn't he pass away? I thought he passed. I ain't seen him in a minute.
Away.
Damn.
I ain't seen South Ayo.
You delete your Twitter, niggas think you died.
Nah, I thought somebody had said he passed away. I was like, he ain't passed away.
He in one documentary, wasn't he?
Ayo stay dying. That shit. Remember when he died on Twitter?
Who died more times, Ayo or Lil Wayne?
Oh, definitely Lil Wayne.
Shout out to Ayo. Yeah, that was a long time.
That's hilarious.
Then we did the live show.
The live show
was classic. Hey, we still have those live shows. At some point, they're going to come out.
Yo, I was thinking about that last night where it's like, Chad, yo, what are we going to do with them Jones?
Well, I don't edit videos, so there we have that.
True.
I remember Chad said something about it. He was going to make him an NFT.
Yeah,
That's what we wanted to do.
The NFT shit crashed.
NFT shit crumbled, yeah.
That went out the window.
Yeah, you'd be better off just giving them out.
I was like, all right.
We'd be better off making
DVDs. I was kind of thinking like, all right, NFT. I'm rocking with you.
Yeah, that idea is over, man. Yeah. But what's going on, fellas, man? Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I bet y'all been doing y'all thing. Y'all been building, you know what I mean? Building a content library, which, as I'm sure y'all know now, is hard as fuck.
Yo, I was telling Nerd after the first episode, this shit like working a 9 to 5. Like,
but in an hour.
Bro. For like 8 hours.
Yo, shout out.
Just talk. When I be done, I be like, I don't feel like talking to nobody.
Shout out Rod. He worked for the Ring. Rod was like, yo, you people don't realize how hard it is to just do 20 minutes.
You got to keep your energy up. You got constantly have conversation. Is a lot.
And the biggest thing is no dead mics. You can't have fucking dead time.
You can't be quiet.
When we do the show, if I even feel like 1 second of silence, I'm like,
gotta fill it in.
You gotta fill that shit in.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Me and him, we the same as far as we like introverted to ourselves. So doing this is like out of my ordinary. I'm behind the scenes, so it's different for me. So,
but honestly, I think I know how to cut it on.
I can turn it on. But I'm so laid back.
I can be laid back and chill.
Nerd is a rabble rouser.
Yeah.
But when the lights come on, I know how to kind of.
And he knows how to activate people and how to elicit responses. You got a viral tweet right now.
But I tell people when they see me out somewhere, I'm not gonna be like.
I'm not Nerd the Cool Table.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm just Raymond Farris.
Well,
block out the Farris. Don't let the. I'm just Raymond.
When you out and about, the limited times that you are out and about, do people like expect you to be like the life of the party and carry the experience and all that?
You can kind of sense it sometimes. Sometimes you can talk to somebody and you can kind of sense it. They be like, it ain't what I expected. I'm just, I don't know. I'm just chill, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? They sometimes expect me to be out throwing back drinks and all this crazy. Sometimes I am, but for the most part, I'm laid back.
I don't like talking to people at all. So this is, I'm behind the scenes. So this is new for me for sure.
So what made you jump on the mic?
Just put myself out there more. I think in this day and age, you got to put yourself out there. If people don't tell your story, you ain't going to, who going to tell it better than me? So it's like, I can't wait for people to tell my story. I got to start telling my story, put my face out there, branding myself, you know. And with the passing of one of my close friends, Irving, it was like he was always pushing me to try to put myself out there, be in a mix, mingle. I'm like, no, I'd rather sit in the studio, be an A&R. No, you got to put yourself out there. So that's where I'm at with it now. In this concert game, you got to be more visual, you know, and front facing with the people. So
I told Legend, though, be careful. You starting to see now.
Yeah.
You in the mix now. The industry emails might slow up. You hear some feelings.
And the biggest thing about creating content, you can't really have feelings in the relationships you got with the certain executives. You got to put that shit to the side. It's like, there's no feelings in this shit. You can't play the political game all the time in this shit. You got to say what you feel. You can't hold back either. It's like,
It's funny you say that because I notice it now where it's like people don't do certain things because of certain relationships more than anything. And that to me is like kind of like bullshit because what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Yeah. And it's like we have this thing now where we don't chastise certain people because we like them or we like what they represent. But then on the flip side, people go ape shit. Depending on we don't like. Look at this shit with Sierra and that fucking dress. And I'm just like, yo, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, what's wrong with this whole thing? The very next day, Beyonce posts a see-through dress. Oh my God, B, the queen, the girl, and it's just like, dog, we gotta cut that shit.
It's all about being liked.
That's it. That's the only thing that matters now, just being liked.
To the Beyonce point, there is a limited series on Amazon Prime right now. It's called Swarm. It's created by Donald Glover. It's a spoof around the Beehive.
Okay. Is that why I've been seeing tweets of he hate black women and all this?
Yeah. So it's a spoof around the Beehive and how maniacal her fans are. So much so that one of her fans was going around as a serial killer, killing people that had mean tweets about this Beyonce type character, which is called Nigel or whatever like that. But it was a good ass series. And
there's a sex scene with Chloe Bailey.
Oh yeah, Chloe Bailey getting slayed. First 5 minutes getting slayed.
First 5 seconds.
By Franklin Saint.
It's the glasses.
Get tired of these lights, man. I had to bring some glasses. But yeah, Franklin Saint is taking Chloe Bailey to Pound Town.
You've seen that clip on Twitter. You know,
Franklin Saint is
Damson Idris.
Yeah. What's his name?
Damson Idris.
Yeah,
Damson,
whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah. Okay, I saw that clip going around.
I didn't know what it was from. Yeah. So then I just happened to click on the show, on the joint or whatever, because I saw a familiar face. The girl that was in Judas and the Black Messiah. The one that played his wife or whatever like that. Okay. She's the star of the show.
I got
I'm like her, Damson Idris. It's gonna be some good ass acting in this joint or whatever like that. But Damson didn't make it past episode 2. Okay. Killed his ass.
Now, little time removed. Do you like Judas and the Black Priest or the Black? What's it called?
Judas and the Black Messiah. Absolutely.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
Wasn't that
I've seen
soundtrack
it
for that movie?
Yeah. Bunch of black people. So, yeah.
Bunch of was real black.
Yeah, feeling black. Yeah, a bunch of black people together is normally a soundtrack.
I think TDE or somebody put that together, if I'm not mistaken.
Or it might have been Kendrick by itself. I don't know.
But yeah, I wasn't all too. The movie was like, it was cool.
Yo, do y'all still go to the movies?
Yeah.
I've actually been to movies twice recently.
In a few months from
in a minute.
The thing with the movies now is, and I had this conversation recently because somebody was like, everything's become more expensive. And it's like the movies now is literally $24 a ticket. Yeah. And it's like, well, the thing is, they've gotten rid. You remember when you used to go in a movie theater, it used to be 200 seats. Yeah. And y'all was on top of each other. So now with the reclining chairs.
Yeah, now they got all that.
They got 50 seats. So they got to charge for what they would charge to get 300 people in this room. It's got to be the same motherfucking price. Because I was saying the other day, when we went, I will never forget when we went to go see Friday After Next. We went to Riverview. This was 2003. And we went deep as shit. Like, everybody from my hood. We was like 20 deep. And we went in the movie theater. That shit was so sold out and so packed. Motherfuckers was sitting on the steps. Like, dead ass on the steps. Like, it was that many people in that fucking theater. And it's like, you're never going to see shit like that again.
Never.
Yeah, I can't remember what movie it was, but I remember we went to 69th Street to the movies for some big niggery movie when I was like 15 years old or whatever,
I remember when movies was a thing, like the big movie.
And I went with Boo and Lit for Philly's Most Wanted. And we in the joint, and niggas is like arguing from the front row to the 8th row. A nigga threw a soda. Somebody threw like a large pizza, like a pan pizza from Pizza Hut. Nigga threw a pan pizza over the crowd. I'm like, yo, what is going on here?
That was a horrible movie theater. 69th Street.
That joint had like a 4-week run for they just gutted it out completely.
I remember my pop used to take us to 69th Street movie theaters. You remember the Rite Aid next door? He used to go in that Rite Aid and come out like fucking Billy Rosewood with the trench coat. Nigga have all kinds of shit. Everything. 2 liter soda.
I missed that.
Oh, that was a good ass time period, man. Shit just ain't the same no more, man. Everything fucked up. But like, yeah, we was having a conversation about how the prices for everything has shifted. And she was like, well, why are the concerts so out of control? I'm like, that shit I can't. Listen.
Yo, that's different.
That's crazy.
Dog. Somebody the other day tickets got it. Oh, Drake and
21.
Drake and 21 shit's more than Beyonce.
Yep.
Bro, that's what I didn't know. I mean, I knew he lit like that, but damn.
Like, what 21 are you? Are you bringing Beyonce? Like, what 21 are you?
You gotta bring all the 21s for these ticket prices.
21.
Bro, people just gotta accept Drake really him, yo. Like, he really that.
I don't even
really
necessarily
that,
come down to him being like that guy. I just think everything right now with the concert shit is just Lil Wayne tickets are outrageously overpriced.
Not to cut you off. I had a conversation about this Lil Wayne situation. Why is Lil Wayne performing at the Fillmore?
Jay-Z did it too. It's the same shit.
Is it?
Jay-Z did the Blueprint Lounge tour. He literally did the same size venues.
Yeah, he did.
This is not new territory.
Maybe his situation is it just
The tickets is $300 to $4,000.
Why is he not doing? You would think he maybe. He's not gonna sell out Wells Fargo. But
Yes, he
He
will.
might want
think Lil Wayne
an
could sell
intimate
out
setting type thing.
I don't know. It's just throwing me off. These small venues. He's like a mainstream A-list artist, and it's like why?
But he's in between. It's not like he has a project out. He's in between projects. So it's like if he had a project out, then it's like, all right, well, let's criticize like the venue size. But being as though like he haven't put a project out in 4 years, it's just like, yeah,
And that project was bootleg 72 million times.
yeah, like so he should be, in the Fillmore.
Okay.
He should be in the Fillmore. And the thing is, people think like that the Met is so much bigger by comparison. The Met is only 500 more seats. Okay. So it's like, but it's double the amount of money. Right. So it's like from an economic play, he's still getting $500,000 every night, regardless. Like, so his money didn't go down. This is like a Live Nation Sean G, who's from Philly, who runs Lil Wayne's tours. This is Sean G's strategy of like, nah, we're going to put Wayne back in here. We're going to take it all the way back around and then bring it all the way back up.
I tell you what, that Philly Drake show, gonna be a movie.
Meek Mill.
I know Chad gonna be there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Usual suspects.
That shit gonna be the
You think
who's
he's gonna
who.
bring out Beanie Siegel?
I can see him doing
No,
that.
well you
Drake
can't.
is a fan. He brought out.
Yeah,
Dipset.
you know he like the he gonna do it. He gonna overdo it.
Well,
He gonna
the
overdo
thing
it.
is, Dipset
might
never
bring out,
went on
headshots.
YouTube and said, fuck Drake in a perk fuel rage. So, I don't
He gonna
know.
overdo it.
Drake might bring out Joey Jihad. You know, that's fucking with Drake. You never know.
You never know what Drake could
I'm a
do.
fan of these niggas.
But I tell you what, that shit gonna bring the Philly All Stars
I might
out.
go to Brooklyn. I can't do Philly. I don't know. Drake and Philly might be a
The
little too much.
Hey, you just made me think about, because the other day I was thinking about when Drake did the back-to-back, the Meek diss, and he mentioned AR Ave, and AR Ave got like a whole like he got like a whole run.
Yeah.
off of that
He
shit.
did.
And something it just thinking about it made me type in AR Ave on YouTube.
Why did you do this?
And no
come
bullshit.
on.
King Irving came up.
The first video that came up said the title of it was AR Ave, the most ridiculous criminal in hip hop. I was like, what the fuck?
Damn.
And to think Drake about to come back, do one of his biggest show ever in Philly, and AR Ab is
I
in
didn't even hear to
jail.
see it.
Yeah.
See how life.
AR, he was
See
a
how
chess,
life
that was a
is?
chess player in that situation. He was
Yeah, I mean, the gulliest street. I mean, I understood the play on words and how it went, but it definitely like highlighted who he was to a people that never had heard of him.
Yeah.
And it just like I told you, it just made me type it in on YouTube, and that was the first video. I was just like, yo, this is insane. Like,
ridiculous.
I remember it had people wondering, was he OVO? And I'm like, it's no way AR Ab is OVO. It was no way.
I knew that Ab shit And Ab was like a guilty pleasure of mine. Like I loved Ab. He was like one of my favorite niggas, and I really championed Ab a lot. But I knew he was on his way down when they put out that vlog. We with the dumb shit volume 1. When that came out, I said, "Oh, so there's more of these. Like we got, there's more of these
Ab
coming."
had the greatest vlogs ever.
He with the dumb shit
He had the
part 10.
greatest. He had the greatest blogs ever, yo.
He would implicate everybody
Yeah.
in BH on them vlogs.
I seen him do it.
I seen one joint, I guess he was like high or drunk or whatever, and he just was like, he was talking about the whole Cassidy situation, and it was just like, wait, what? Like, it was like just, no, because he gave me the chain and I sold it for 9 ounces of salt.
The funniest
Like,
the
I was like,
funniest
yo,
ones
this
to me,
crazy.
the funniest ones to me was when he was fresh home and he didn't have no facial hair,
And he was skinny.
but he was still talking. I was like, I can't really believe it. You gotta grow some of that hair. But he was still talking tough
Yeah.
though.
6 months later, he was fat again. He,
was
had the
back,
beard
and
again. He was
He
back.
was back.
Yo, I just saw Cassidy on Queen's Flip talking about Arab too. He's still talking. Cassidy, all these years, he's still talking about Gilly, still talking about Arab.
Cassidy
Yeah,
one of the
I did
heaviest
actually see
talkers.
that. I saw that clip circulating where he was talking about the whole. I didn't know they had like issues.
Cassidy, you talking about he was running around Philly beating niggas up and all?
He could fight.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that part
I
of
never heard of
Cassidy.
that. It's a cool story, but I never heard of that. But it's just funny to see that like through the years, no matter how much all of these people in like the Philly pantheon of like rap success and all of that pretended that they didn't have a problem with each other no more. Y'all all still hate each other. Y'all niggas is faking. Like, and I don't know why, because there's nothing really to be gained from any of y'all affiliating with one another. But y'all still faking. Like when I saw Gil on stage at the Freeway concert with Beans, I'm like, y'all hate each other. Like, what are we doing here? Like, y'all can't stand each other. Like,
So how you feel about Oskino on stage?
well, he's actually has a reason to be there. He's a part of the
He
group.
was standing on for a long time.
Yeah. He beefed with Beans for 8 years.
Well, we
He
getting
beefed
a
with
State
Neef
Pop
for a
reunion
decade.
at the Roots John.
But here's the thing.
Somebody not gonna show. They all not gonna be there.
There's a
I
state
don't
property
care.
reunion this Friday in Camden at Club Dubai.
Yeah,
a
I
state
see.
property reunion every
get,
week.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
They just had one at Club Limitless Saturday.
I'll be honest with you, and this is just as a fan of like that era. Like that was our era.
Right,
You know,
for
high
sure.
school years was, you know, state property freestyles, rock freestyles, major figures, Cassidy versus Freeway. You know, all of these things that were like pivotal moments. And it's just crazy because it's like they get on media now, and the only thing they got is like that. It's like that era. Like, so how did the beef start? Oh man, I don't know, but we had our guns and it's
That's all I can
just
talk about. That's the claim to fame.
it's just like at a certain point there's got to be some type of evolution. And then you listen to somebody like Drake. Drake said one of his biggest things was he never wanted to finish tour performances with the same song twice. So he said, like, when I got this tour, it was Hold On, We Going Home. This tour was Know Yourself. This tour was God's Plan. This tour was so, and it's just like you see that type of progression with artists like Lil Wayne, Drake, even artists like for Fab, and Fab get a lot of shit. Fab has progressed through the years where it's like old Fab could finish a show with Superwoman or, you know, the
that's
Mike
true.
Shorey John. Then the Fab at one point could finish with the Neo record, you know, Make Me Better, and it's just like you get to the point where you kind of evolve. Look at Jay. Jay won't even perform certain songs.
Most of them.
Like I got
most
I
of
got a
them.
misogynistic Jay playlist. It's like the best playlist ever, and it's
Pimpin'.
all the shit
That was the Jigga era.
Lobster and Shrimp, all the shit that Jay
That
will
was the Jigga
never get
era.
on stage
Yeah, Jay-
and ever perform.
Jay would
again.
have to get a notarized
Yeah.
note from the whole Knowles family.
Yeah,
Solange,
Beyonce parents
Tina.
got signed at the same time. Like, yeah.
We'll never hear Big Poppy. We'll never see him do
No.
Big Poppy. Hey Poppy, Big
You
Poppy.
imagine if Jay came out nowadays and performed like, is that your bitch? Yeah, like it never again.
OG version with no bleach.
Remember he put out that apology about all his old songs. Yeah, he was like, that was. You can find it. You can look it up. But he put out an apology like that was old me. I'm sorry. I put out that
I
type of
remember my homie,
energy.
he like a big Jay fan. He was like, can't nobody beat Jay in the verses. Nobody could ever see Jay in the verses. Y'all tripping talking about Kanye and Drake and Lil Wayne. Jay a pummel niggas 20 to nothing. And I'm like, do you think Jay gonna be able to perform all his records? And he's like, shit, yeah, I don't know if he gonna get up there and be able to. I'm just like, yeah.
Like,
the
do you think nigga what nigga who was coming out the arsenal?
Money
the
cash
records-
holes.
the records we love Jay for, you know what I'm saying? Like You really think Jay about to get up there and I don't mean no harm, but your boy Young Hov got a mean no harm? Like, you really think he about
he
to
almost
pull it?
60, so it's like,
I mean,
Jay been 60 for like 10 years.
yeah.
it been so many Jay-Z eras, yo. It been crazy to see.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally, it is funny, like, just to put a bone, I think Jay is the GOAT of, like, rap life. But me personally, I just don't know if he's a better rapper than certain people.
Who?
Biggie and Nas.
Oh, to that point. Start with the Biggie and Nas thing, and then let's wrap it around with how did y'all feel about the Billboard list?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Well, I think Hov better than Big.
Oh, yeah.
I think Hov better than Big.
Like a better rapper?
He played with them words. He played with them words, but I think he better than Big. I think he better. I just personally think he better than Big.
I don't know.
Now Nas, I've been going back and forth with Jay because I've been listening to a lot of Nas, bro, and Nas
is
he been
nasty.
talking that shit for a long time. Like, I think
say
maybe
it all
because
the
I'm
time.
older, I'm respecting it more.
I tell you what it is for me with Biggie.
He don't got enough. I think
And that's
that's
the thing, too. He passed away.
But here's the thing.
No, but this is the thing. When I say Jay is the GOAT, I feel like his resume, like his actual put together of what he's done, like his body of work, can't be fucked with. It just can't. You got 15 number
But
one
you saying
albums,
getting on the mic and
But like Biggie legit was like creating bars that we had. Like Big did shit where he was ending a rap bar and beginning a rap bar with the same word.
Right.
Like when Big say, I breezed through in the queue 45 by my side. No one caught that. Get smoked like Duchess by the master. Like Big was insane. Like Big was nuts. And I like just
And nobody did more with less.
Dog.
Meaning, he made a whole junior mafia that wasn't rappers and turned it into a serviceable album with multi-platinum hits on it, and he wrote the whole shit.
I'ma tell y'all
he
this.
took Lil' Kim out of Bloomingdale's and made one of the greatest female rap albums of all time. That's his pen, the whole shit, beginning to end. And
I'ma
he
tell
don't
y'all
get
this.
credit for that because people don't necessarily understand his work as a writer.
Lil C's your man, too, right?
I fuck with Lil C.
I
Lil
think-
C's got one of the best albums that niggas never listen
That's a
to.
fact.
Yeah, Siege Jones' first one was awesome. Big to me was just like the audacity in which he spoke. Like, you gotta remember, he was 24.
Yeah, see that's
Like you legit would think Big was like a 40-year-old, like a mafia. He done been through tax evasion charges. Like that's the
that
way
is how he talk.
came off. So for you to go from just a young nigga on the Fulton Ave who was drinking private stock
Right.
to get to that point of you having these verses that were like, wait, what I literally told him one day, like if you listen to Victory, which was the verse he did the day before he died, a lot of people think that's Biggie's best verse. So for you to still be getting better, and then when you really break it down, how he dissed Nas in the verse, Big was so subtle at the way he would do things, where it's like he didn't have, like how you get Pac, first off, fuck your bitch. Biggie really didn't have to do that, but then he'd get on the joint. If Faith had twins, she probably had Tupac.
the little sneaky
Get
shot.
it? Two.
But I'm gonna tell you this.
Like, he was nuts.
I personally like Pac songs better than Big songs.
Now I said this to him, and they get mad at me. I think Pac is one of the greatest rap song makers.
Bro, his
in hip-hop
his
history.
catalog.
Yeah, but his verses is
crazy.
trash.
His verses ain't that crazy.
He can't out-rap nobody.
Can't out-rap most people.
He can't.
But when it come to Pac made,
He can't
I-
out-rap
he
like
make them
Ab Soul. He
songs,
can't
bro.
out-rap like
Keep
the
your-
fourth best nigga on a record label.
You can play Keep Your Head Up.
I get around.
Listen to this. You can play Keep Your Head Up at a presidential rally, a Crip cookout. It could be background music at an abortion clinic. You can literally play that record anywhere.
Keep your head
You
up at
like,
the abortion.
yeah, that's
Keep your
serious.
head up at Apple Tree Street is crazy.
No, you can play Keep Your Head Up at any function. A graduation, a funeral, a birthday party. It
you
don't
can,
matter. Pac was that good to where it's like he made Dear Mama. He made I Get Around. He made Keep Your Head Up. He made changes. And then on the flip side, you got these songs like Temptations, Troublesome 96.
That's my favorite Pac song.
It just, Pac
Temptation.
was like Pac covered so much. And then you got to remember, Pac was recording like a maniac.
And he was 24, 25 when he
25.
died. Come on. That's crazy that these niggas was rapping like they lived 10 lives.
The thing that for me with Biggie, and I got it Biggie, Nas, Pac, J, and Lil Wayne. That's my 5. The thing for me is Biggie made garbage rhyme with doorknob. And I still I say that and people are just like, huh? And it's just like, no, that's what happened.
Right.
He made garbage rhyme with doorknob and it sounded fucking fantastic. Big when it came to rhyming. It's just nobody.
He was a wizard.
He was a wizard. He was an absolute magician of the way he could just make words flip.
Right.
And I think he's better at everyone in that. But then when you flip it on the side, it's like, we can talk about Jay catalog, but you gotta remember, Big first album sold 4 mil. His second joint went diamond. So it's like, his catalog for where he was at in that time period was insane. Because he was only 2 albums in. And then once you factor in Conspiracy, Lil' Kim album, the shit he did for Puff, like No Way Out was all Biggie's build. Yeah. So it's like, it's a toss-up. I personally think there's no right or wrong answer, sort of like the LeBron Jordan thing. But if you come in the LeBron Jordan and GOAT argument and be like, Kevin McHale, I think you just saying shit. So in the rap arena, I think it works the same way.
If we going songs, give me Pop. Give me Pop.
Yeah, when you go songs, it's Pac and probably Kanye is probably the 2.
I think Lil Wayne and Drake come into that
I'm
argument.
about to say Drake gotta be in
Drake.
conversation. Lil Wayne
Drake a machine. He just a machine of hits.
He never stopped.
Drake make throwaway anthems.
Yeah.
She does not want to be.
Like my daughter 16, she don't know a life that Drake ain't the hottest nigga.
Right.
Like, think about if DeMarcus Cousins don't tell Drake, yo, do this record. Do Young Blue have a career?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just on the, because fucking Boogie said it. Yeah, I'm going to come do it.
Yep.
And then now, next thing you know, this is a whole atmosphere for that over there. It just,
Young Blue said my deal offers went from 250 to 11 million.
Yeah, off of that Drake song.
Off of that Drake song.
And that shit was fire.
Then he gets a Nicki Minaj song after that because of, Drake did it. All right, cool, I'm going to do a joint. Like,
and that's why you
you're
look
a
at
talented
Drake,
writer.
Drake get on a record and say, I'll jump on your song and think the label think they need you. For real. So it's like, that conversation.
No, Drake in that best song. Yeah.
He did.
Think about it like this. Drake is such a good songwriter. Puff asked him, yo, can you write this record for me? Yeah, sure, no problem. He took the record, wrote it, kept it for himself, and won a Grammy from the shit. And then Puff was trying to rumble this nigga for 5 years afterwards.
Pin him down so I can pee on him.
Pin him down.
Yeah, like, straight up. There are certain people where they're up on the top of that mountain and certain people just not going to get there. Right. As much as we might like other people, we clearly know the difference between Beans and Jay-Z. And I've said on this show many a times, I think Beans has out-rapped Jay more than just about anybody.
Especially on his own song.
I think Beans has got Jay on more records than probably, more than Biggie. Yeah. But that was one of those, what they call it, I forgot the word. Not casualty of war. But it's like Jay would bring Beans on for these gully records. Where it's like, you're supposed to bring Beans on for like the poppin' shit where you can get him. But it's like you bring Beans on for This Can't Be Life.
Right.
Sometimes I wonder what would Jay-Z be without that Philly energy.
I always say that. Stay property.
Because here's the thing, because he tried it with Brooklyn first and it didn't work. He had
GDK
Diamonds in the
and all
Rough, GDK, the Rangers. Like, he tried to pull every nigga from Brooklyn he could. It didn't work. Bleak the only one that stuck. And Bleak has an underrated discography, by the way, but that's a whole nother separate conversation. But Bleak was the only one that stuck. All the rest of them niggas was like, all right, now what? Like, even Sauce Money was like, oh yeah, how much y'all offering? $7,200. I'm going to MCA. Like, because like the vision was right, but the economy wasn't like developed enough to attract the niggas that he was supposed to. You know what I mean? But the Philly niggas was like, fuck it, give me the $1,800, I'll take it.
But from all the stories I hear, they was tapped into Philly because they was looking at most wanted.
Yeah.
Figures.
The deal that State Property took was Most Wanted and Major Figures deal. They turned it down. I know for a fact. I was there when they was going up there, having the meetings and coming back home like, yeah, no, this people want to sign me. We going to sign with Refugee Camp Atlantic. Why? Because they gave us the most money. Like, they gave us $500,000. They was showing us contracts like this when I was 14 years old. Like, that shit was real. I'm like, oh, I remember when they did the first Cosmic Kev freestyle where all of them was there except Gilly. I'm like, why Gilly wasn't there? It was like, truth be told, he don't really fuck with nobody. like he want to do his own thing. He don't really fuck with nobody. But everybody was there except, you know what I'm saying? Except
you
Gil.
talk about a classic. That was when they did Watch for the Hook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I
that was
remember
a
that.
classic.
Yo, hold your horses. Dutch man on some 4-door shit. Chris popping on the
them
tour shit.
days-
Fucking bitches on the
Bro.
floor shit. Black Benzie, the seats warm, the
They
heat's
made me-
warm.
they made me
About
wanna
10
rap.
on each arm. I reached calm. You wasn't there. What you had to speak for? One make him drip a little, 4 make him leak more.
I
Down for
remember
the
that,
same shit I had to
yeah.
kill his peeps for.
Bro,
Wasn't
them
it hop out the
niggas,
5 and spray your J30? Yeah, that was a good time period.
them major figures, bro. Them niggas, they was
My man
different.
Jacal was from Erie Ave when I went to Central. He used to come to school every week. Yo, Speed got some new shit. He just recorded. I'm trying to get it on tape. I'm bringing it to school.
I'll be honest, and I've said it before, and I say it again. I legit thought Gilly was one of the best rappers I ever heard. And I remember getting into a real live argument on the Broad Street line where some niggas, and this is the crazy part back in the day where it's like, You on a train, you minding your business, and just like randomly, what you mean Gilly hotter than Spade? I don't even know you, nigga. And then next day you know you battled in this and niggas was really trying to like rumble me about that, and I'm just like, nah, I think Gilly the best.
Because back then, even then, he had that
I'm gonna
something
tell you
about
what it
him
was.
he had that superstar.
I can remember
shit.
the specific freestyle I heard where he was like, all my niggas rock Gators like it's prom night. And he was like,
I remember that.
But the life in the land, put many long days with my life in the land, my wife in the land, cruising, my wife in the land. You keep talking stuck, but the price of your man. The Gilly don't know what it's like to be no hoe. Work 12 hard months and no see no dough. I'm a boss. You dudes copy my flow. Every chick in the city want to be my hoe. Now look at me. The cat I couldn't be who you said I wouldn't be. Now the kid's front of your ass. And if the money ain't right, I'm slumping your ass, dumping your ass. Black gloves pumping them ass. I remember that shit. And I'm like, yo, this nigga can really fucking rap. And it's just like, yo, so it's like, for us in Philadelphia, we had Figures, State P,
Ram Squad,
Ice City. Oh, you had all of this shit.
Journalists.
Journalists.
Ram
Christ.
Squad.
Like Vodka and Chico, Joey Jihad, Reed Dollars. You had. I remember when Eddie Morris came to my crib back in the day to film like a little segment of rap. Motherfuckers was like Eddie Morris at like
that shit.
Like yeah. So it's like we had all of that. So for us, you know, it's like part of that East Coast bias where it's like you look at these other cities where it's like if you're not at least coming with that, nigga, I can go to Meats for Less and listen to Frank with the Grippers going. Like, I don't gotta deal with y'all niggas.
I was a young boy coming up here to get my cheesesteaks and shit from Maxie's. I seen Ab Lava one time. I thought it was like I saw a superstar. Like, yo, I seen Ab Lava. Man, that was a good time.
Ab Lava's somebody that don't get the credit he deserves because people
don't.
don't understand
Yeah,
his
Lava do a lot of
importance
writing.
in the history of rap as a prolific writer, like at the highest level, like writing for Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? Like super, a lot of niggas. Like a lot of people, man.
Yeah, straight up.
That was a
Philly
good time.
rap. I'm going there, and I could be biased. Philly legit might have like the most important rap scene to like the overall structure of rap music as far as the rappers. Yeah. I ain't saying
Nah,
the production
for real,
part
they do.
or the artistry part, but as far like let's be all the way frank. Young Chris and them directly affected Hov.
Oh,
Directly.
100%.
Tweet that went viral about that too, by the way.
That whole
I said-
energy.
I
Hov
said,
used the
Young Chris
energy.
helped
He used the
Hov.
flows. He used the cadences.
But that was Jay whole energy even before they got over there. That was his whole shit. Like Jay would do shit like this. Like this is directly from like Philly's Most Wanted. They'd be in the studio with Jay and he'd have 9 rappers up there. He'd be like, yo, kick some shit, and then everybody would rap. Da 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 da. And then they go around the room and everybody rap. And they're like, damn, Jay, you ain't gonna say nothing. He's like, you don't got no new shit. He said, yeah, I stole 2 bars from you. I stole 2 bars from you. I stole your flow. Da da da. I'm gonna have some. Y'all gonna hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all gonna hear it?
997.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That was his whole thing. Like he knew where to extract the value from whoever the fuck was around, and then just take it to another level.
And in a weird way, that kind of made Jay more like, I don't want to use the word worldly, but when you look at a lot of those New York guys from that era, they were really New York.
It was New Yorky as fuck.
Like the Method Mans and
MOP
Ghostface
and all that
MOPs
type
and
of core.
they were super duper New York. But then you had Jay come on a track like, you know, I'm Michael Jordan. I play for the team I own. Like, it was just a whole nother level of cool. But then on the flip side, you could get just as ridiculous because you got, like, Beans in them around you where that kind of shit influenced. Philly influenced and handled a lot of shit.
And Jay whole thing, and now you see it with Drake now, where it's like Jay just outclassed niggas. Like Jay just showed up with like the lifestyle cues that nobody had. He was talking about being in the Bahamas on a speedboat on his first album. Right. He was talking about Turks and Caicos in Ibiza 22 years ago. Shit like that. Shit, nigga, I just went to Turks and it was a big deal. Yeah. I just went a month ago. That nigga was going 22 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And motherfucker just didn't know, like, where is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just came and just took rap to a different level of, like, opulence. Like, the shit that Biggie started, he just enhanced it and just took it to the moon.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I want State Property to get their flowers on stage at Roots Picnic. I want them niggas to be hand in hand and bow out for the fucking crowd. But I don't think that's gonna happen because it's no way all them niggas gonna be on that stage.
You gotta get along.
It's not.
Then.
Was PD Crack at the Freeway show? He was there? Okay. I seen media from everybody except Crack. I'm like, where is Crack at?
Yeah, it's one of... they're gonna have to do an unsung probably about like it, that's because they too important.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
To the overall, aesthetic of especially East Coast hip hop. Like they affected that shit a lot.
Played a real big part.
And they had a lot of success. Like it's like when you quantify the numbers, like Beans' first album, 900,000. Beans, I want to say second album was like 800,000. Young Guns, Can't Stop, Won't Stop, #1 radio record in the country for like 9-10 months, whatever the fuck. Grammy nominated, multi-platinum single, gold album. Freeway first album, gold album. Like State Property Chain Gang's like 350, but it's like a cultural classic album. And if that album was on streaming services now in its entirety, people would look at State Property a whole different way. Because it's really like, if you know, you know. Right. Because it's like, it was like a whole different kind of music that they made in an era where the South was really like dominating. T.I. had found his foot, and Boosie and Webby was like a big deal at that time. And these niggas just put a good ass rapping album out on soul samples, fucking ODB on Where You Hear That, like just crazy shit that's just erased from like the annals of the internet. And because that shit is missing, like niggas don't get the perspective of like how good State Property as a group was.
Because it just was a certain feeling outside when them niggas was lit. You just had to be there. Then then the come up shows and all the little incidents they was getting in, the backstory, the beefs.
It'd be crazy thinking about like I don't want to use the word local artists because it makes it seem like they smaller than what they are. But it's like every place has a scene, like a music scene. And I always wonder, like, think about songs like you just brought up Non-Brigade. Remember early in the game?
Oh, with Freeway.
You couldn't escape
I remember
that
that.
record.
They're from Southwest.
Yeah, I mean, one of them used to live out near my crib. Like, you couldn't escape that record. And it was all of that. And I'd just be like, what did, like, the niggas in Detroit, like, were they listening to that?
I think they were. They was tapped in.
What's the joint Freeway? He had this what was it, Struggling and Surviving?
Scratching
and Surviving.
Yeah,
that shit was a
Takedown,
classic.
Yeah.
That video.
That shit.
Remember they
was
had like
classic.
a DVD of like
with the battles at the end.
Yeah.
Takedown Records.
What was it, Ace Capone?
Yeah.
Free Ace Capone. Well, I don't know, but see, the thing about it's free people. I don't be know what people got going on, so I gotta stop. We gotta stop.
And they be having a lot going on.
I gotta stop doing that free people because
The thing now is though, right? I don't know what happened in the last year and a half. Niggas have gotten so good at Pacer and like being able to pull niggas' paperwork. I got all type of paperwork on my phone from motherfuckers' cases. Like I got whole case files. That whole shit that's unfolding.
You gotta kind of hold on to your free such and such. You gotta hold on to it.
You gotta read the court notes. You gotta read the dockets. Like I got that whole shit that's unfolding in with BMF St. Louis right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit.
I got the work.
I've been seeing
like,
that.
I got the like in the Whack 100 voice. I got the work.
That's in the algorithm heavy right now.
Yeah. I don't know.
We talked about it.
Yeah, I know, but still, I don't, But like, Philly's rap scene was
It was beautiful.
It was awesome.
It was beautiful.
They had Too Raw for the Streets who set off the DVD era of like feel like you what's the name? Smack.
Yeah.
They follow our bluept. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yep.
we trendsetters, man.
Yeah, how about it?
Too Raw
Damn.
for the Streets. set it off for everybody.
Yeah, battle rap now has gotten to a point where, and I was an original battle rap fan. Now it's gotten to a point where I've watched battles recently, and I'm just like, what is this?
It's a lot of theatrics now.
Performance.
I saw one joint where the nigga was rapping and the lights cut off, and it came back. Hey, did you see that? It came back and he was dressed like the Undertaker.
I did see that.
I was just like, what the fuck, man? Like,
it's a joke where a nigga hop into like a Super Mario Brothers tunnel. You ever saw that before? You got like animation. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Nah, the battle thing is going.
Y'all know where all of that shit started. What do you mean? Loaded Lux versus Calico.
Oh, yeah.
When he brought the casket out and all of that shit, and then he hit the screen. Yeah. Oh, I was wrong for showing it. Nigga, you was wrong for taking it. Yeah. Once that happened, niggas was like, oh, wait, we can immerse people in this shit.
With the doctors,
the doctor, schmuck. Yeah, battle rap now has become very like, even I was watching this one joint where the guys was talking about it, where back in the day, you would go to rap battles and not know who you was battling till you got there.
Right, yeah. You just had a clip full of verses.
You just had bars. Yeah. And now it's like, you battling him in 6 months. So now you going to his kindergarten. Yeah, what was he like when he was in first grade? Like, and it's gotten to the point where it's so, like he said, it's theatrics and it's animated.
But I think that's because it's a big business. It's big money.
It's a multi-million-dollar business.
You gotta add the little theatrics and performances now. And the fake beefs and the face-off challenges and all that.
No, it's so weird. It's WWE shit.
It's definitely it's hip-hop wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, when y'all doing promos like Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, trailers, signing a contract and shit,
yeah. Cassidy is the king of the battle rap promo. Then he show up and stink it up every time. That nigga be he sell the shit out the fight. He get there and get punched up every time.
Yeah, but he keep getting that check though.
He keep getting that check because they know people going to tune in, win or lose.
Bro,
I never forget
one of his trailers. One of his trailers got like 3 million views.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
One of my homies, I was like, yeah, I see Cass battling this weekend. You watching that, Joe? He was like, nah, I'm done listening to Cass rap about his fetus. And then he was like, every time he rap, he cooking up something like a fajita.
But you know what's crazy? A lot of people say he beat Hitman Holler. It's a lot of people that tell you he beat him. So
nah, he didn't beat no fucking. People was tripping. He did better than terrible.
I think people was so surprised.
He did better than terrible, so they said he won.
Hitman wasn't really. He was kind of playing with Cass, so it was like it gave you a chance to be like.
Cass' first round was good, and then after that shit went off a cliff. And I'm just like, yo, what battle is y'all watching? Like, I'm a super day zero battle rap fan. I know how to score this shit. I'm like, yo, this nigga lost every round other than the first.
Do you have a favorite battle rapper?
My personal favorite is Averb.
I'm not a big
nice.
Averb.
He nice.
I'm Sue Surf. I like Easy now a lot.
I like Easy a lot.
I'd probably say
Loaded Lux.
I like Danny Myers. I like Danny Myers.
Did you see Loaded Lux versus Averb?
Yeah.
When Loaded Lux had the line, he said, right here, man up, nigga. Right here is it's like Offset talking to Quavo about a bad ad lib. Yeah, right here is where you gonna take that skirt off. Yeah, Loaded Lux is still that. I'd look at him as like he's out of this world. Like he's in another dimension as far as that shit.
He lost his last John.
Who'd he battle?
Geechee Gotti.
I didn't even know about
Geechee Gotti fucked him up.
He tried to over rap, and Geechee was just like, you a bitch.
And something that Averb, you know, he been blogging a lot lately or whatever. He was talking, he was like, yo, the thing about Mook and Lux, they are the guys. They the logos of battle rap. But the problem is, the shit that they do don't work outside of New York City. It doesn't work.
Well, the Averb Lux joint was in Houston.
Yeah, and Verb fucked him up.
No, I thought Lux did well.
Absolutely not. Yeah. He had his whole third round was about time limits. You lost that round.
That was the joint when he did. I'm cracking this nigga head. I had to Whitney a nigga in Houston.
He lost that battle, my brother.
I gotta watch it.
He straight mailed in the third round. The whole third round was about time limits.
I thought Lux was phenomenal.
Nah, fuck no, he wasn't.
My personal favorite is Shotgun Suge. And people don't like Suge.
But he just got his ass kicked.
Yeah, listen, I'm detached from it at this point. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You see, I didn't even know Geechee. What's his name?
Geechee Gotti.
I didn't know he battled. I know who he is. I didn't know he battled Lux.
He fucked Lux up.
He fucked Lux up bad.
I got to watch this.
Yeah. So that was at Chris Brown house? That was at Chris Brown house?
Nah, it was in Cali, though. It wasn't at Chris Brown house.
Who you think won between Lux and Hollow? Because for years, people said Hollow, and I thought Lux won that.
I go back and forth.
What? I thought Hollow did.
Yeah,
I
Hollow. I watched it live, and I was like, I paid for the pay-per-view, and I was like, did Hollow just beat Lux?
Yeah, he did.
And then I
beat
watched
him.
it again, and it got
Because
closer.
remember
and it
Hollow
got
was taking notes?
Yeah.
and he had a little notepad.
I watched it 10 times.
Then he
in
brought
its
out
entirety.
Calico Dad in the third.
Tell
Yeah.
Blackface now. Every time I watch it, it got closer, but Hollow still won.
I thought Lux did well in that one. Like, I like Lux. But
then you got battles like Lux against Charlie Clips, and I think Lux won that, but people think Clips won. So it's like, some of these Jones be preference.
I ain't gonna hold you, yo. And this ain't. I don't want it to come off like a diss. I think Charlie Clips is the most overrated battle rapper.
Yeah, because you can see the punch coming every time.
And that
And he don't prepare all the time.
You know what made me really peep it? And this is one of the most underrated verses in like battle rap history. And I feel like I have on a good authority. I can say this. When Charlie Clips battled Hollow the Don, and Hollow started doing his format and letting the crowd answer the bar, and I was just like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like you kind of can't use that no more.
Yeah,
like after that,
yeah.
like once a nigga dismantle your whole shit, you really can't use it no more.
And the boy that be screaming, New Jersey,
New Jersey Twerk.
I like that
He
nigga
fired.
a lot.
Yeah, he's super fire. That's Drake, man.
When he battled Clips, because you know Clips' whole joint is guess what room I'm in, and he was like,
What do you say? Drop.
he said, "You fucking fool! I'll bust a tool. Bow. Guess what room we in? Nigga, the upper room."
Yeah, Twerk fight, but he another one of those. He gotta
Twerk
be prepared
50-50.
though.
Twerk
Yeah, he
funny
50-50.
as shit. I fucks with him a lot.
Yeah, Twerk might have just came from a dog fight right before the battle or whatever. He disheveled, shirt off, like it's like, damn, are you here to rap today? We gonna figure it out when we get on stage.
I'm a big battle rap fan, so I'll be tuned in for all the other leagues. I'm into all that shit. Chrome 23, RBE, they probably the best right now.
Did you watch Big K versus A Ward?
Big K fucked
He
A Ward
annihilated
up.
A Ward.
Fucked A Ward up. Big
white on white
Big K,
crime.
he about to battle Mook.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that flyer.
Who you got winning that?
I gotta go with Mook.
I want to see
Just because the setting is gonna be like, you know, RBE got that. They got that small room,
Yeah.
that blue room. So
Yeah.
you don't really gotta be with the theatrics. You can just rap.
I want to see Mook and Easy at some point.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Easy gonna fuck Mook around
Easy to
if they
fuck
battle.
Mook up.
Bad. Because Mook, I think Mook shit is great, but it's too spaced out. And he takes too long to get where he going, and he reach a lot. Like a lot. And it's just like, yeah, no, we jumped over the reach era of battle rap. Like, we don't reach no more. You gotta be saying what you saying.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you mean jumped over the reach era?
like there was a whole era of like it was the PG era of niggas, like they whole thing was like reaching, like where it's like we set up a punchline where it's like I'm not saying what you think I'm saying, but I'm saying it.
I see what you're saying.
It was like intentionally like misleading, where it's like you go past
Right.
the line of demarcation intentionally. Like they would just say the most ridiculous shit. There was
most
one nigga
ridiculous
Dot, the
thing.
reach guy. Like that was his whole style. Was just like, I'm not saying what you think I'm saying, even though I'm saying it. It's just like, yeah, like this is stupid.
Yeah, I feel like again though, the theatrics and the so I understand why Charlie Clips blew up and became, you know, the Wildin' Out, Nick Cannon. Even the what's the
Hitman
little
Holla.
one?
Conceded. The little one.
Conceded.
Conceded.
Yeah.
Like they can
He
rap.
used to reach a lot too. He used
Yeah.
to reach a lot
That's
too.
before, way back when they were all doing that.
Yeah, facts.
I remember Conceded battling. I thought he was so nice too. B Magic.
Be Magic nice.
He magic, the show arrived.
I thought he was nice.
B Magic
but I
nice.
remember that. Like I can remember like a bunch of the classic battles, and you looked up and you saw like these guys on Wildin' Out or these guys on BET, and it just be like, yo, I never like DNA. The couple times I've seen DNA, he's gotten like pummeled. So it's like I don't understand. K-Shine, another one.
Shout out to Briz Rothstein.
Briz Rothstein was nice for a little second.
I don't know if he coming back. He might.
What was his
he might
man,
be
the
done.
big guy that was with Briz Rothstein? Is he still up there?
Oh, I can't believe.
T-Top.
Oh, you talking about T-Top? I'm thinking
bigger
of T-Top, but it's another one.
You think about Av?
Nah, he's
Av
from
was with
Delaware.
Rock.
Oh, I can't believe.
Yeah.
He's from Riverside. Yeah, they gonna kill me. Tink the Demon.
Oh, Take the Demon.
Tink the Demon.
Is T-Top still a premier?
Yeah, he's still one of them guys.
Remember he had the drum where he destroyed the white boy with Styles and all
Yeah,
them there?
yeah.
And then you started seeing, like, I remember he had this older battle where he was like, what what was the line he had? He said, I'm like T.I., I'll fight the champ over the tiniest situation. Yeah,
T-Top
he
tough.
was nice for a little second. But yeah, battle rap definitely has become WW.
It definitely is.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, especially from where we from, where, you know, battle rap was essentially back at the school, two people
Facts.
battling.
Man, all them Reed Dollars battles when they was just
And y'all
like
go
Philly
20
versus
rounds.
Pittsburgh, Philly versus
Yeah.
Reading,
Yeah.
Philly versus Scranton. Like,
Yeah. Philly versus Ye and nigga was out there tweaking.
meet me on the deuce.
Yeah.
Meet me in front of the hut.
Meet me a long lane, nigga. Philly versus Upper Dark. Yeah, them jokes was crazy. But that's what it was. It was just like two people meeting up and just going bar for bar.
No extra theatrics.
Like even look at like the Freeway Cassidy joint. And I
That
always
was monumental.
I,
He got smoked.
it was a setup. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It was a setup.
It was a setup.
He got smoked.
That was a Barzini meeting.
Yeah, Swiss knew that.
Jay and them was coming off of that Hot 9-7 shit,
had no
and they was
bars.
so amped up. In reality, what happened was, and that was the point I was trying to make that night with Kev. We was at the joint. Freeway had such a good showing on Hot 9-7. Remember, he did the back and forth with Beans.
Yeah.
He was just on fire.
Same night.
And they came out of the Hot 9-7. Remember, because O only rapped like once or twice on the first jump.
Right.
And it was like, yo, it was like
Free was giving his soul
it was
to
just
them niggas.
pouring. It was like Freeway's night. And you know, Swiss called Jay and I got this nigga right now. And Jay like, what nigga, we on fire, nigga. I got all this Armadale. We coming the fuck over there.
Not knowing at that time Cassidy was the fucking
Not knowing
greatest.
Cash was sitting there waiting with the craziest bars you ever
Yeah,
fucking heard.
he said, and the thing is this: Jay knew who Cassidy was, but he didn't know him as Cassidy. He knew him as the Bull B.
Yep.
So he did the rebrand or whatever. So he didn't realize like, oh no, this is the same.
they've been
nigga.
training this nigga.
They've been training this nigga since he was 13.
biting tires and shit out the backyard.
Feeding him gunpowder, all kind of shit, like, waiting for this day,
And it happened.
and it happened.
It happened.
I remember the first time I ever heard Cassidy rap. I said on here before. That nigga said, "I just got a new Benz. It got all the features, and the eyes is far apart like Moesha." I remember hearing that and thinking like, "Yo,
That's still
what?"
good money. That's a great one.
Like,
That's
yo,
still
what?
good money right there.
Still
And,
working now.
and it's like, how the fuck you supposed to beat that nigga when you rapping about your sister on drugs or whatever? Like this shit can't win. Cassidy bars were so fucking good at one point. And you know, it was a bad way to end the night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Could have just went home.
Could just went home,
Fuck
had-
some hoes.
got some salt and pepper chicken, and just took it the fuck in the crib.
Put the beat on. They ain't had the beats.
Yeah. And
Put
that's
the
what
beat
made
on.
That's what made it so bad. It was like him asking, "Yo, put the beat on." Swiss
Like I just
nope.
killed. You see what I just did to these beats?
And
just
Swiss,
give me a
and
beat.
Swiss was
Yeah.
like, "No,
Nah.
he said it was
a
straight
setup.
wrong." It was
Swiss might say, "Nah, nigga, we heard what you just did, nigga."
Wait, they were supposed to battle again.
Yeah, they was.
I'm glad. I don't want to see that. I don't.
I'm not
see
gonna
that.
hold you. I'm not here for a freeway catch.
They
I
trying
would
to.
have watched it for sure.
Yeah, I'd have watched
I
it.
watched it for sure.
I'd have probably watched something else. I ain't gonna hold you.
I'd watch it on Tubi.
I ain't here for Cassidy. versus
Delayed
Freeway.
release
That's
on
definitely a
Tubi.
2B battle.
To be exclusive.
I'm definitely not trying to see that. Like it'd be crazy. Like again, though, to wrap it all up, not watching rappers evolve past a certain era. Because like we could sit here till we blue in the face talking about how good that era was, but at the end of the day, that era it's over.
It's stuck
But they
back
got. I mean, they legends. They got.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, legends left that era and did more legendary shit. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like 50 Cent, for what it's worth, can be viewed as a legend in a vacuum, but then 50 went on to do other crazy shit.
Niggas, 'cause
Yeah,
they
for
relied
sure.
On, they relied on like that infrastructure and the machine of having a record label to like push their music out.
I don't
like,
really think they had a machine to begin with. I think that was part of
They
the
had a
issue.
platform. I feel like. I mean,
They had a platform, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have like a machine. but
There
they
was
had
no
a
machine there. Think about it. Nobody
They had budgets.
at Rockefeller went platinum outside of Jay till Cam showed up.
Yeah, but you leaving that infrastructure and then going back to North Philly is a whole different ball game, and you got to figure it out on your own. It's like they didn't really have a know-how out there. I mean, Freeway's still pushing through. Young Chris and Neef tried to still push through. Beans kind of was stagnant. Everybody else kind of, Oskino was like he doing art now. So they didn't really push forward because, the times changed, started going digital. So I don't know if they really was ready for what happened.
But out of everybody, Chris had a shot, and he just wanted to just hang on Wingahaken and just
Is he still writing?
not go to Miami. But he had a big ass. His deal with Rico Love was like
I forgot about Rico Love.
700,000. Like he was the marquee artist on a $15 million distro deal. He was the flagship, and that nigga refused to come to Miami. I have it on good authority to say this. He refused to come to Miami.
It is crazy watching and rap at one point became so one dimension, even down to the names and the aesthetic of it. And you got to look at think about Biggie Smalls or Notorious B.I.G. That's such a charismatic name and title. Tupac, that's his real name. Nas, that's his real name. But even Jay-Z, it's catchy. DMX.
Big, it's like you can see the
Big
brand,
Pun. You had these Jadakiss. You had names that you just wait, what? And then out of nowhere, it became Young and Lil, everything.
Lil Pump.
Yeah, and now you got it's funny watching these guys try to get away from it, where it's Jeezy just wants to be Jeezy.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I feel like that kind of played into it. It was young Chris was cool when we was young, and he's only 16. But it's once you get to where you 30, it's you kind of got to drop it. Now your rap name is just Chris.
But then there was another young Chris that came out.
Well, he might have got a
It's
lot
a
of
popping young
rappers,
Chris out right now from the DMV.
When Atlanta got popping, a lot of that rapidy rap shit just got drowned out.
I don't know,
bro. Atlanta, I mean, they added to the game, and it was nice, but a lot of that shit,
it was nice.
A lot of that shit fucked the game. Remember the ringtone era, and then all that. Then the beats got cheaper sounding.
D4L.
It was that drowned a lot of people out, man.
Yeah, but them niggas could rap.
Yeah, some of them niggas could super duper rap.
Shorty Low was in D4L. He could rap.
No, I ain't even talking about the D4L shit. I'm just saying Atlanta in general. Atlanta came with niggas that are even when I remember when Funk Flex did this whole thing a couple years ago where it was T.I. was nothing and you got by on, and it's
I want to steal
but then
Funk
for
Flex.
every T.I., it was a million other just random
understand,
niggas.
T.I. really was the hottest nigga on the planet.
He was.
So we can't go back and try to rewrite history and be no, and it's just no, when Jay-Z noticed it was damn, this nigga's nice as shit. T.I. was really, really good at rapping. Luda could really rap. There is a big difference between T.I. and Luda and Gucci and even Jeezy, because Jeezy was kind of one-dimensional. Now, Jeezy did figure out his sound, and he did create I keep it above with you, Jeezy created some shit that a lot of other rappers didn't create. Whereas I have my thing that I do that's mine alone. Where Jeezy said, I remember a joint where he was talking about when he did Them Boys with Puff and them, where they were kind of what the fuck is he doing? And why is it taking so long? Why he gotta have this many starts and this many stops? He's y'all get it when it's done. And he's when they played that shit at the end, Jody Breeze and all of them was oh shit, nah, we can't fuck with this nigga. So it's a different feeling and a different vibe. It's not the way, Jay goes to the locks I got this dude I feel I want y'all to hear. I'm gonna bring it to the studio. He bring Beans through and they make Reservoir Dogs. That's some up here shit. So that's not happening. But on the flip side, T.I. could rap. Andre 3000 could rap. These
Killer
niggas,
Mike can super
Killer
rap.
Mike can rap.
Yeah, for sure. It was lit, but it was just hard. If you wasn't a mega star on the East Coast, you wasn't getting no burn, though.
I mean,
you wasn't getting no.
I think that's a testament also to the camaraderie of Atlanta and Miami.
Yeah, the
and
East Coast
Houston.
niggas did it wrong.
East Coast niggas legit would make Reservoir Dogs leave and be if I see that nigga again, kill him.
Well, they diss each other. They diss each other all the time.
Down South artists, they embrace. Well, Jadakiss would do a lot of stuff with those. I would read a lot of
Jadakiss and Cameron was pioneers of working with the down south niggas early. Jay too, because Jay got a song with Silk the Shocker and Juvenile.
Yeah, they didn't push away. They just embraced.
They literally brought us UGK on the East Coast. I'm gonna keep it up. Niggas can go back and be oh no, I was been listening to Riding Dirty.
Yeah, my uncle was listening to Riding Dirty. No, he wasn't.
You're lying.
And Pimp C ain't want to do that shit.
That shit went from the South for most people went Ghetto Boys, Outkast, Cash Money.
I was gonna say Ghetto Boys, Luke, Outkast.
But Luke kind of transcended the South because he was in the clubs.
That's what I'm saying. But that's kind of how we got to the point where we kind of viewed them.
Right.
It's they just ass shaking music,
booty shake music.
Yeah, they ain't saying nothing. And seriously, and then you realize like when the Outcast shit in 95, 96, we kind of still was like, because they was coming in on the pimp shit, the players ball shit, like, they kind of goofy. But then you look back and you just like, oh no, this nigga 3000 rapping a little bit. Like, what the fuck?
This nigga's an alien.
Yeah. Then AT aliens. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So people get mad at the Atlanta shit. I think it was one of the most important parts, if not the most important parts of music. And I personally think that you can throw it up there with like the reign of New York, where like New York is the Mecca. I think you can make that same argument for Atlanta. Where it's like Atlanta's kind of been the Mecca longer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give y'all the problem with what happened with New York. When Atlanta started making their ascension and the South started making their ascension, the people in New York didn't go and create those same grassroots movements to compete with the niggas in the South. T.I. went out here and fucking put his feet to the pavement and sold 20,000 copies of Pimp Squad Click Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Luda went out here and sold 100,000 copies.
was more label
it was
or
more
nothing.
so like, I'm walking to the label or not.
Incognito.
So it was like on the East Coast, you saw the same niggas, a revolving door of the same 9 niggas getting deals. Red Cafe, Uncle Murda, French Montana, this nigga. Like, they was all just circling the fucking wagons because they was the niggas that had the bread and they wouldn't invest it in no young niggas to create a movement behind what they was doing because they was used to just going in the label and getting a check. Also, like, you hear Nori talk now, he be like, man, I'm a major label nigga. Like, I don't want to do no work. Like, I went independent for one album. I hated that shit.
I think there needs to be emphasis on the fact that when niggas from Atlanta got huge, they fucked with the little motherfuckers from Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And on the East Coast, when niggas make it, we've experienced this in a lot of different markets, a lot of different like facades of entertainment. When niggas get a certain point, they won't even acknowledge you. Nope. And you
is that just how East Coast people are?
That's some East Coast.
It's a very East Coast thing. It's a very
because it's like me and my niggas got our shit.
Good,
Y'all weird niggas, get the fuck out of here.
Like, and you just look at the music from that time period where it's like we just mentioned Watch for the Hook. When you really listen to the real Watch for the Hook, it was the same shit that Beans, the Figures, and Most Wanted did in the studio. Them niggas did it on an actual song for consumption. Because on that song is Cool Breeze, Outkast, Goody Mob. They're all on that record.
And they gave it to Cool Breeze.
Cool Breeze. Video, they coming for the video and everything.
They gave it to Cool Breeze because Rico Wade had a $30 million deal at Interscope. We running everybody album coming out.
Future was in the Dungeon family.
So, who's the white boy?
Bubba Sparks.
Bubba Sparks.
Dog.
They was just training niggas.
Remember when 3
6
Mafia and them had Lil White? Lil White. That was my man.
And that's the difference between the East Coast and the South. In the South, everybody coming out.
Yeah.
We putting Grandmama album out next week, nigga. Like,
what Master P? We got to put 50 albums out this year? I don't know if I got 50 artists.
It seems like them South niggas don't mind sitting in the back of the studio and learning for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And getting this shit right.
East Coast artists, they not patient enough. That's the biggest thing I learned about working with artists.
Yeah, because it's hard when you sign to a label and it's like, yeah, we're gonna give you, $75,000 and you can learn the game, and then the nigga you signed to get in the booth and be like, y'all pussies think $75,000 some chicken. And you just like, what the fuck? I gotta get the fuck out of here. That's how it goes. That's what New York niggas do.
Broke ass nigga, I got your deal on my neck.
You asked for a deal, I created my deal. You witch it. Yeah, that's the way it worked. That's really how it goes.
Broke ass niggas think you stunting with 75K. You're like, what the fuck? I gotta get out of here.
Yo, you sign a deal and your fucking label owner give you a 4.0 Range Rover and then he get in the booth like 4.0. What the fuck is that? And you like, no, nigga, I get like, that's the way it worked. But down there, it was just this camaraderie of, I'm blowing up with Still Tipping, but I'm bringing Paul Wall. I'm bringing Slim Thug, fucking TV Johnny. Everybody gonna get a piece of this. That was the way it worked.
T. Ferris is still on till this day as an executive because of that Swisher House fucking movement.
And they never gave the game back. They kept it.
Crazy.
If Houston, if Texas didn't have a run, Atlanta had to run. If Atlanta, it was Miami. Like, it all kept
just bounced all around the South.
I was watching this short the other day on YouTube, and it was about the Up in Smoke tour. And it was basically this guy was talking about how much tickets cost now, because he was like, he went to the Up in Smoke tour and he showed the the ticket, and his seat was the 7th row from the stage. The ticket cost $38. Damn. And he was just like, that was how much tickets cost for this shit. And I'm watching it, and it's breaking down the whole Up in Smoke tour. You had Dr. Dre, you had Snoop Dogg, you had Ice Cube, you had Eminem, you had Exhibit, you had Corrupt, Daz Dillinger, and it was just showing how everybody in the West Coast shit who was any type of prominence was pulling up for the show, being a part of it, coming out as a guest, getting this, getting that, did it, and it's just like, damn. And we as far as East Coast, like the triangle, New York, Jersey, Philly, it was never that. Right. Because you can't go to a lock show and expect to see anybody from Rockefeller because they beefing. Yep. You can't go to a Fab show and expect to see even Joe Button because now they beefing. Right. You can't go to, there was a point where you couldn't go to a Bean show and expect to see Gilly or because and it's just like, that was where the shit got. Where these other communities, you go to a fucking Pitbull show, you might get Ross, you might get Khaled, you might get Luke, you might get Trick Daddy. You don't know who the fuck coming out there.
Even, I say, what about Atlanta? Even if these niggas beefing, you'll never know. Future post a nigga album cover and nigga beef with, but he'll still support it. Right. He'll beef with this random artist, he'll post them, but they got a whole beat underlining beef.
Yeah, go get this pussy ass nigga album.
Yeah, but that's how they
Trick Daddy and Ross been beefing for 20 years, and every time I look up, they doing some shit together. Niggas got a cooking show together. It's just like, seriously, they on all Khaled albums, all Khaled singles. It's just the way it was, whereas up here, it kind of became real segregated. Yep. And you look at the biggest stars of the East Coast, like let's be frank, look at the biggest stars from the East Coast from 2000 to 2015. Tell me one who did it on the East Coast. 50 probably the biggest. 50 had to go out there.
Fat Joe was smart to weasel his way into Miami mix.
That's what I'm saying. That's how they had to do it. Fat Joe had to go fuck with Khaled and them in Miami. 50 had to go fuck with Dre and them out in the West. Like, it's just what it was. Like, it became a thing where it was just like, damn, like, let's even down to the next tier. Meek Mill went with T.I., Ross.
He bounced around
other motherfuckers. It just became what it became to where you look up and it's just like, even literally, Core sat right here and told us how him and Uzi had a falling out over nothing.
That ego.
Because Uzi wanted him to come out and he wanted to go to the studio.
Uzi was trying to play fucking Dance Dance Revolution with this nigga and Dave and Buster.
He wanted to go to the studio.
And that was a misunderstanding.
But how do the East Coast get it back? Do we ever get it back?
You can't. It's over.
I truly believe. I do believe that.
If you're looking for East Coast to be the Mecca again in hip hop, you need like basically on Terminator 2. They destroyed
you ain't lying.
The whole world.
You need new humans.
You need
on
new
the East
humans.
Coast.
Like,
on East Coast.
You know, problem with the East Coast and like New York specifically, where it's always that conversation where I need that real New York sound back. They always trying to like recreate the sound. It's 2023. We're not doing that no more. We're
like not trying to be funny. Like you look at a place like Atlanta, it's just like, bro, I can go down here. It's 90 million producers. All the bitches got donkeys. The grits are old fashioned. They're not instant grits. It's like, why the fuck the houses cost $250,000? Yeah. Why would I be? It just doesn't
just
even
better
make,
living.
It just don't even make sense. So it's like it's
the coldest day of the year, 62 degrees.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them things where New York, Jersey, Philly, the stronghold that they had was because nobody knew any better. Yep. And once people realized that there was a better way or a better place or a better climate, that left. And now it's like, think about it. The BET Hip Hop Awards, they be in Atlanta. The Revolt Summit be in Atlanta.
See, I'm scared.
These shows don't even be in New York and shit.
I'm scared I'm going to be a grandpa showing my grandkids pictures of DM. I'm like, this was back when rap was on the East Coast. Like, Long before, yeah.
Yeah, you ain't about to see an MPV and a bonfire ever again.
Is there anybody that's come out in the last, call it 3 years, so in this current decade from the East Coast that really like excited y'all as a rapper?
In the last 3 decades?
No. 3 years since 2020. In this present decade, is there anybody from the East Coast, male or female, that came out that really like excited you? Like
Benny.
Yeah, when he first came out, Benny excited.
That might be the only one.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. This is being all the way live, and it sucks because it's like Pop Smoke was really going.
He was the nigga.
I personally feel like he was on his way to being like.
He knew how to mix. Keep it New York, but he had that sound though.
I think Pop Smoke was really, really it. And
I did one of his last shows, man.
Yeah, you really see it after the passing where it's just like, damn, he had it all.
Yeah.
Like he had the look, he had the aesthetic, he had the sound, he had
And
the
him and
flow, he
Travis
had the
was
feeling.
making them niggas was making bangers.
Like Pop was really, really.
Fabio had me for like 14 business days. I was like, this might be something. And then I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
feel like a lot of
he
those
did
drill
have
artists
it.
is
But yeah,
like,
Pop Smoke was the one.
He was the
A
one.
lot of these drill artists, like they his son, like they like little Pop Smokes now. Like they all follow his blueprint, his sound. They all sound like him. I feel like
The Pop Smoke Def remind me of the Stack Bundles. Def. Because it's like you could see that he was right there and then it just. Because Stack Bundles he was the
Stack
one.
Bundles was a nigga.
Yeah.
He was the one.
But I feel like when it comes to rap now, it's a lot deeper than can you rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you look at remember the unsigned hype era? That, you could just be nice and we'll figure this shit out. Where now,
his lifestyle, aesthetics, Instagram.
Yeah.
so you look at,
Your content.
let's look at New York over the last couple years. You had G Unit, that was a whole aesthetic. Then you had Dipset, that was a whole
Murda
aesthetic.
Inc.
Murda Inc., a whole aesthetic. Rough Riders, a whole aesthetic.
Like you knew how these niggas gonna dress. They had
Right.
their own, all that shit.
And I look at somebody like a Pop Smoke where he was just ahead of the curve for that New York drill. Even Casanova. I feel like he was on a good trajectory of being.
In spots.
Did you see the video that's going viral of him with Charlamagne?
No.
Because basically they was talking about your net worth online and how it don't be right. And the caption on it was like, when you are a robber and you can't turn that shit off. And Casanova was like, I'm on fucking Google. They say I got 3 million. Fucking where? And Charlamagne was like, yeah, they said I got 10. And it's like, and Casanova was like, no, nigga, you got 10. You got 10. Don't try to get us off you now.
Yeah, Casanova had a little nice little
I
wave.
got Casanova's story. So before he went away, my man Young Sav was managing him at the time. He's same manager of Flip De Niro. He signed Lola Book recently. So long story short, Cass was looking for like a videographer out here, do like a press run or whatever. My man shoot content or whatever. So we was with him all day, going to 100.3 to beat. This when we had the So Brooklyn challenge.
Okay.
So this when we was hot.
He was super hot.
Higher. Long story short, we was running him all day. This nigga took us out to eat with him. What's the seafood? It's a seafood spot. But long story short, he paid for the meal. He treated us like his family. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't know us. He was some niggas
Cass
with
a good
cameras.
nigga, man.
We was all over the city with him. So that's he was a good dude, man. I
We
hope he got that
booked
situation.
Casanova at Vanity one time. Me and this promoter from Burlington County, New Jersey that I was working with at the time. We had booked Cass. This nigga came like mad early, hung around all night, ran around the club with his shirt off with the strippers. Like he wasn't in the section being bougie. He with the people making videos.
Listen
like
to this, listen.
Who said I got $3 million?
Nice.
Shit, I should say I got 10. I know I ain't got it. Nah, you got 10. Don't try to get the robbers off you now.
The robbers, nigga.
Don't try to get the robbers off you now. Yeah. Oh, nigga, we was watching your shit last night, nigga. We know you got 10.
Yeah, Casanova was on. He was on one. He was on one.
But at the end of the day, we kind of went down a music rabbit hole I didn't think we was going to go down. But I think all of us are, we're older now, and once you get to a point of like you say, you got a 16-year-old, so it's like you looking at them and it's like the song ain't hot unless it got a challenge or a dance
That's a fact.
to it.
Yep.
And, you look at somebody like Drake where even he did the whole Tootsie Slide thing, #1 record. Where it's like, not everybody would jump out the window and do some crazy shit like that. But he understood it after seeing Nonstop and In My Feeling become like 2 of the biggest records of his life. Where it's like,
He leaned into it.
he's coming from, he like, man, I got a Michael Jackson feature on this album. That's what we hitting him
That was
with.
the one.
That was the one.
Yeah.
He dropped that shit and people was like, man, if you don't cut that shit on with the Shiggy, where the fuck Shiggy at? Like, so I think music now, it's moved so far away from its inception.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you look at America. When they first created America, they killed the Indians and enslaved blacks, and that was what it was. So now you got civil rights and black men running the country, and white people's like, man, we need to march. This shit getting crazy.
We're losing control.
We're losing control out this joint. So it's kind of like that when it comes to this music thing, where it's so far out of the initial like box that we had it in that I'm personally am not even looking for it to return to New York.
Nah,
you get what I'm saying? I want it to keep going and growing
evolving.
and keep evolving. And you know, you look up and you see, because what would have happened was in 1996, it would have been Tupac to lead the football team on the field. In 1999, it would have been DMX. In 2003, it would have been 50 Cent. In 2010, it would have been T.I. or Lil Wayne. And now you look this past year, it was fucking Uzi. It was a little nigga with a perm running the football team out on the field. You know what I'm saying? With a straight Clarence Thomas III comb back, like straight up. He ran them niggas out at the Super Bowl. And it's like, that to me is evolution. And people get mad at it and be like, oh no, because my era. And they be like, man, for real, fuck your era.
It's over.
It's like, because the world is supposed to keep going and growing. And that's kind of where I've gotten, where it's like, I give Uzi the same respect that I give DMX or Tupac. Because it's like, he making the shit that's true to him.
I try to be somebody different.
Yeah, and that's decent. Like, because at the end of the day, not everybody is going to grow up with a Black Panther mom who's on crack. Not everybody's going to grow up sleeping with a dog and robbing niggas. I'm serious.
Right.
We had a dog wasn't allowed in the house. You know what I'm
Irv
saying?
Gotti said when he came to meet DMX, this nigga stuck his head out a hole in the wall. Like, who out there? What's up, dog? Who out there?
A hole in the wall.
What up, dog? Who out there? All right. Just barking. Yeah, just Irv, just barking for no reason. Like, they said literally when he came to do the initial meeting with Leor, his jaw was wired and he had on 2 different boots.
He said he was rapping his heart out with his jaw wired.
Spotify called him earlier. We have a meeting. I'm getting some new boots.
I'm getting some boots.
I ain't coming with the beat up boots. I'm gonna get some. So everybody's story not the same. But rap, rap in sports is one of like the only 2 arenas where people are like, if you don't do this exactly like this, exactly like that, then you can't even be considered to be that person. And that's why when you hear me talk about like my top 10, it's somebody from every era, because it's like, yo, Ice Cube's way to the top was way different than Jay-Z's. Right. But they both made it to that mountaintop where nobody was fucking with him at one point. How the fuck you don't got Ice Cube in your top anything when that nigga literally bought you NWA? You literally don't get easy without Ice Cube. It's the reality. That nigga wrote Boys in the Hood. Like, so it's like, when you really sit back and think about Drake, Snoop, DMX, all their Eminem, they runs was different. But at the same time, it's like, dog, like, look, I was reading this shit the other day about Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP. The domination that album.
Oh yeah, it's
dog.
TRL.
Literally worldwide. Do you know what that joint sits at for platinum certifications?
7.
probably like 100 something.
Worldwide,
worldwide.
that album is 79 times platinum, dog.
He sold 2.4 million the first week in the United States.
Dog, he sold 2.4 million the first week. He sold 900,000 the second week. He sold 810,000 the third week. He sold 640 the fourth week. They said it was literally the only hip hop album to ever clear over 600K for 4 consecutive weeks. Like, the shit was nuts.
You know what's crazy though? I have some Eminem songs on my playlist, and when them shits come on, I be like, this shit it's kind of cringy now. A lot of his stuff.
I'm glad that you brought this up, because this is kind of where I wanted to go in like media and like I personally, this is me. I try not to listen to old things or watch old things through a new lens or with new ears. Because you'll drive yourself crazy.
Absolutely.
Even like the sounds, and it's like
Production, all that. Yeah.
When Eminem did them records, they were perfect for that time period.
But them Nas, you throw some Nas.
Even that was...
No, I'm talking about the content as far as like the crazy shit.
Right.
Think about when he did, what was the joint with Big?
Really?
Dead wrong.
Dead Wrong. That was like his introduction to rap, and it was just like, who is this white boy rapping as good as Biggie Smalls? And now you listen back to it where you just like, wait, this nigga was talking about cannibalism. And, like, I leave a bitch red on the bed, dead on the floor, red on the ceiling, get a new whore, met on the second, fucked on the third, now she's dead on the fourth. Like, that shit wouldn't fly at all now. Like, wait a minute, you met her on the second. like that shit.
Let's go through this timeline, bro.
Like, that shit wouldn't fly at all. I want to play something for y'all.
He was dead nice though. There's like no denying it.
I was watching Donahue, and this is, I remember at our live show, I was talking about how crazy daytime talk show was back in the day. Donahue had Khalid Muhammad on his show, and Khalid Muhammad was the leader of the Black Panther Party or whatever, and this was Donahue.
I see that clip on Twitter every now and then. It pop up.
Daytime television.
Your speech at Kane. They'll always find some Negro, some boot-licking, butt-licking, buck-dancing, bamboozle, half-baked, half-fried, sissified, punkified, pasteurized, homogenized nigger that they can trot out in front of you. I would ask you, Mr. Muhammad, is Jesse Jackson a boot-licking, homogenized nigger? To the best of his ability, I believe.
To the best of his ability.
That was daytime television. Dog.
To the best of his
abilities, I think he tries every time. That was daytime TV, dog.
That's nuts, man.
You get that, and that was Donahue, like asking that question. You on no fucking you can't even do that type shit on YouTube.
I wish I could pinpoint the moment it all changed.
What you mean when it stopped?
To where it's just
When you couldn't push the envelope
you couldn't push the envelope.
It was funny because the other day I was actually having a conversation with my girl, and we were talking about Crash. You remember the movie?
I remember
Crash?
that movie, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was telling her how when Crash came out, it was just so like, it wasn't necessarily like the best movie you'd ever seen, but it caught you where you was just like, wait, what? So the cop who fucked with Terrence Howard has to save his wife, and then Luda and Lorenz Tate rob Terrence Howard, but Terrence Howard winds up getting Luda away from the joint, and while that's happening, Lorenz gets smoked by the cop who was, and the story was so just like compelling, and you know it wound up winning the Oscar for Best Picture. So a lot of people were really mad because Brokeback Mountain was what they thought was gonna win Best Picture that year, and because it didn't, it brought on this whole the Oscars are homophobic and all of this shit.
Good pull, Dan. Goddamn.
Yeah,
No, it's the God's honest truth.
I got
And
research
you
that.
really
I
gotta
remember that.
And I was telling her because I remember like doing a lot of like reading about because I couldn't understand it. And y'all remember this is 2004.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking 2006. Where y'all remember this is 15, 16, 17 years ago. So I know I wasn't like mentally sharp. I was a young man. Right. And I remember when I saw all the commotion, I was like, what the fuck is it about Brokeback Mountain that is even like got these people in this frenzy? So I finally watched it and I had to catch myself at the end where it was just like, yo, if you can put that shit to the side, this really is like one of the best movies. Like the movie really is good as shit. And it's just like, damn. So then it made me think about like the Oscars, which is like one of the most straight down the middle things on the planet. They got criticized for being homophobic and against this and against that. And that kind of was like the shift, like that Brokeback Mountain thing.
That was a big deal. I do remember it being a big deal.
It's giving to culture was knocking down the walls of what's accepted for this and what's accepted for that. So yeah, in a weird way, that is true. Like that. Queer side, all of these different things started popping up, and it was like, yeah, that was the first time we had ever seen something. Because think about Philadelphia. Tom Hanks won the Oscar. You know what I'm saying?
That.
But it wasn't necessarily on that grand situation of, yo, this didn't get its just due.
Right.
And the only reason it didn't might be because of that. And once that kind of opened that door, all hell broke loose. To a point now where anybody who's anybody, if they feel offended or feel like they're not getting they just due, they coming outside. We starting on 8th and Market, and we going to Penn's Land, and that's just kind of where we are now. To the point where sitcoms, talk shows, movies, even wrestling. Dog, it's funny because we'll get to it, but everything is sensitive from what it used to be. Because if you go back There's literally, if you just go and you find a channel that plays shit from the 90s, movies, whatever the fuck it is, and you cut the shit on, all you gotta do is watch for 5 or 10 minutes.
Outrageous.
You're gonna find something that was crazy.
Yeah.
When Sable, remember Sable from wrestling?
WWE.
When she was in Playboy, she came out to be a ring announcer with Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. Jerry the King was reading her Playboy. When she came and sat down, and she was like, Jerry, come on, we got to focus on the match. She's like, leave me alone, I'm reading.
Jerry the King Lawler had a bit every week. Show me them puppies.
Yo,
Puffies.
Good old days, man.
The Godfather came out on one of the episodes, and he came down, and he was coming down to the ring by himself, and he stopped and was like, and Jim Ross was like, what's he doing? He's like, oh, something ain't right. And he turned around and called for the hose, and and Jim Ross was like, look at the hose, king.
They had Val Venus and all these crazy
Val
niggas.
Venus.
Dog, they castrated Val Venus on the episode.
Yeah.
Hung him up to a cross and castrated him. They was fucking tweaking.
Y'all
dog.
remember Brian Pillman broke in the who was it? Stone Cold crib with the gun.
Dog.
Damn, yeah.
Dog. Val Venus would be in there getting necked during his fucking promos. Hello, ladies. I was watching, I was telling y'all before the joint, I was watching Biography the other night, and they were talking about, the Divas? No, before the Divas. This one was on, who the fuck John was it? Because they was talking about how cool they were back in the day. It wasn't Andre the Giant and Hulk. It was
Shawn Michaels.
Not Shawn Michaels. Oh, Undertaker.
Undertaker.
It was. Did you see the Undertaker's joint?
Yeah.
Undertaker got a real good joint. But they were basically, they had the Godfather on there, and you know he was Papa Shango back in the day.
Papa
and he was
Shango.
like, it's funny because you always mention how wrestlers, the WNBA players, travel like wrestlers used to have to, and he was like, we had a big ass conversion van that we used to go town to town, and he was like, we had our whole little clique. So this is the Godfather say this. He's like, it was me, Undertaker, British Bulldog, the Big Boss Man, Yokozuna, Mr. Fuji, Rikishi, and Virgil. And I was like, how big was this van?
All these niggas.
I was like, how big was it? And he was like, yeah, we used to go town to town. And he was like, man, I miss Yokozuna so much. Because he's like, people don't even know, Yokozuna wasn't like Japanese, he was like Samoan and shit. And he's like, they play dominoes. So he was like, that nigga will wake up in the morning like, come on, dog, it's time to throw them bones.
Damn.
Oh, no.
I was like, could you imagine a van pull up? Undertaker 6'10", Yokozuna 500, Rikishi 400, fucking Papa Shango, Godfather 6'9". I'm like, could you imagine these gigantic ass niggas? Like, that's how crazy it look. You got a little Japanese nigga in a top hat. You got two Samoans. You got a fucking a pallbearer and a dead nigga. You got a fucking broke
It's
policeman.
beautiful times, yo. I miss them times, man.
Wrestling was crazy as shit, man.
I'm glad I grew up and got to see everything raw.
And that's one thing I say where it's like, I kind of understand the nostalgia. Because we talk about it all the time with like the Jordan shit. Like, it's only nostalgia that these people are living off of that have them saying these crazy ass things. I understand nostalgia because I have it. Right. I remember what it was like to go to the First Union Center when Iverson was playing. I remember what that shit felt like. The energy around it. The bitches in there with them minks and them Cartier glasses. I remember that shit. But then you go to the game now, and it's the same shit. All the little hoses and Bottega boots and fucking, what's the shark boots? And it's the same exact shit. So somebody who's growing up in this era, looking at Joel Embiid, is just like, man, it's the dopest shit. We on the move, and you know what I'm saying? Like, all of that shit. So it's like, I understand nostalgia, but at the same time, you got to be realistic.
Right.
Things go on. Now, wrestling, at this point, think about it. Wasn't there talks that they were trying to sell the shit for $6 billion?
Yeah, to Saudi Arabia.
They weren't trying to sell wrestling for $6 billion when I was alive, because when I was growing up, NWO was the biggest shit on earth, and WCW folded.
Yeah,
They folded with the biggest roster in wrestling.
That's a fact.
Yeah, they said that through that, what was it, like 78 weeks or some shit like that?
82 weeks. They beat them in the ratings.
Yeah. They said for that 82 weeks, they said even though they were crushing them in the ratings, their payroll still, and their operation costs still exceeded how much net income they made to where they never turned a profit the whole time.
No.
And
It was a money
Turner was just shelling out fucking money. And then once the the sale to
AOL
Time Warner merger happened, they said Ted Turner didn't even understand that he wasn't in control no more. He found that out at a board meeting where they was like, "Yeah, we don't even need you today, Ted. Just go."
I remember the night I watched WCW Nitro and fucking Shane McMahon popped up on. I said, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
And the world was never the same after that.
Yep.
The world was never the same.
They sold that
The
shit for
world
pennies.
was never the
They
same.
sold that
Never
shit
the
for
same.
pennies on the dollar.
Yeah. Vince McMahon crept in, got that shit, and he just never looked back.
Fucking Kevin Nash said he was negotiating people contracts.
Yeah.
I'm calling niggas at WWE like, yeah, I heard you having problems up there. Come down here, come to Atlanta. I'll get you a fully guaranteed deal.
That shit was crazy. They was literally shelling out so much fucking money. So you look at it on the flip side where it's like, to us, that was like the greatest era of wrestling ever. But I'm pretty sure you ask Vince McMahon and Pat Patterson all them this shit right now, the NXT and all these different things, they're making more money than they ever fucking made. You look at the NBA. Like, yeah, when Jordan was running around, it was great, and we had a big TV contract. But now the NBA is literally about to be like $30 billion in
Printing money.
printing this shit.
And they got a guarantee for 2 more franchises. Whenever they say
Here
turn the button on, Seattle and Vegas is ready to go.
I watched Chris Rock's show. I've been rewatching it from the beginning because I personally think Chris Rock's show is one of the best shows ever created on HBO.
Oh yeah. I do.
Yeah, Chris Rock
That
show
was a good
excellent.
joint. That was a
and I
good
watched the episode. I'm watching all of them straight through. The season 3, he had Jason Williams from the Nets.
Yeah.
that wound up, shooting the driver or whatever. But he had Jason Williams on. It was during the lockout. And he was asking him, like, so what's happening? We gonna lose the season, whatever. And Jason Williams was like, I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta pay people what they worth. And people look at it like, oh, they spoiled this and the third. But it's like, no, y'all making money. And he brought up the fact that there wasn't even a CBA.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dog. They was running around without a bargaining agreement back in the day.
I think Jason Williams at that time had like a 5-year, $55 million contract.
5 years,
so-
$55 million.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember when
I
that shit
remember
hit
that.
the ticker like, wait, what?
So it's just like, at the end of the day, things evolve,
Yeah, shit
things
change,
get better.
shit change.
When you look up now, Giannis is gonna get $350 million guaranteed when it come around.
Yep.
Dame Lillard just got what, 37 a season or some crazy shit.
No, more than that.
Yeah, more than that. I'm sorry, like
47.
We just old niggas watching the world
I think the
change.
final year of Dame contract is $60 million.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, people would be like, oh, man, the Jordan era was the greatest because you could hand check. And it'd be like, shut your ass up.
And get this money. There's money out here.
Shut your ass. Look, where are y'all at with that? Are y'all basketball aficionados? Where are you at?
Not
with
aficionado, but yeah.
I ain't aficionado, but man, I'm a football guy, really, honestly.
Really?
I'm a football guy.
I kind of gave up on
I'm a
football.
football guy.
Why you give up?
Football, to me, I can feel the racism. There's racism everywhere. There's racism in everything. It just is what it is. It's just, there's no way around it. But in football, when you talk about all white owners, all these predominantly white front offices,
99% white fans.
these white coaches who literally, I've watched white coaches just be abysmal and still get opportunity after opportunity.
Absolutely.
And then
You figure a football crowd is damn near like a NASCAR.
yeah.
Eric Bieniemy is part of 2 Super Bowl winning teams. That nigga still had to go take a prove-it deal at a terrible franchise. They're like, all right, come coach these horrible niggas, and then maybe we'll give you a head coaching job. They made him an assistant head coach. What the fuck did that even mean?
I look at, tons of white head coaches that came along and didn't do well. Steve Spurrier did not do well. Charlie Weiss did not do well. Who else am I thinking about?
Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly literally came in with all the talent in the world
And obliterated it.
And he's a gang member.
Chip Kelly came in and said, we want to go fast as possible, and then traded all the fastest niggas in the league.
Because with the NBA, it's definitely a black league.
So then I look on the flip where it's like these black head coaches who Lovie Smith. What was the coach for the Bears?
Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith. Yeah. Takes him to this fucking Super Bowl, and then you look up and it's just like, where is Lovie Smith at? You don't know if that's Lovie Smith or John Amos doing the. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Mike Singletary comes in, defensive prone, takes the 49ers to the fucking Super Bowl. Has that whole shit with Vernon Davis, can't win with him, couldn't coach him. They got Mike Singletary coaching the Memphis Express down in like a fucking subdivision. It's crazy. But then I look on the flip side where basketball, where like they embraced
Yeah, they do.
the black culture. They embrace these things, even down to little shit like this whole. What's the quarterback from the Ravens? Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson legitimately got NFL records, man. Legit. You know, he's like it's like him and like 4 other people who in their life won a Heisman, MVP, and led the league in touchdowns. He did it within a 3-year span. Lamar Jackson.
And they still question him.
And they're still
if he worth
questioning
the
the
money.
nigga. Daniel Jones just got $160 guaranteed, and you got people like, pay Lamar for what? The owner of the Ravens went as far as saying when Deshaun Watson got his deal, oh man, this makes things kind of murky for, quarterback going. Like, what? Like,
Yeah, they was talking about it on Pat McAfee's show the other day. He was basically saying like, at every other position in the NFL, when the record gets reset for the salary, you understand whoever the next guy up is, he's going to reset the record. But they got to this fucking Deshaun Watson contract, and now it's like, fuck that contract. We negotiating on a whole different scale. Eat shit, Cleveland owner. Like, you fucked everybody, whatever, and it's a bad deal and this and that. And it's like, all right, well, if it's a bad deal, to be determined. But at the end of the day, it's like, what's going to happen when Bezos and Jay-Z fucking buy a football team and now everybody deal fully guaranteed? Because they got unlimited money at their disposal. Like, they're really going to be upset then. And they about to disturb this whole Good Boys Network shit that been going on for the last 60 years. They don't got no idea what's about to happen. They let Bezos in the league. And these other young tech niggas and all that shit.
Bezos get a team, and everybody on the team fully guaranteed and get free shipping on everything. Nigga, it's going to be up. Like, seriously. And I look at football at times where it's like they're so, like, remedial with how they do things. Yeah. Then you look at these other sports and these other places where it's like, yo, niggas get a chance to really thrive and do it up in basketball. Yeah. Didn't Robert Smith want to buy a team?
Yeah, the Vikings.
He had
told
the
that nigga, they
cash.
said 1987, you did a janky real estate deal. We ain't fucking with you. He the richest black man on earth.
Jim Irsay was smoking crack in the hearing. They didn't give a fuck. Seriously.
Jim Irsay got more DUIs than Robert Downey Jr.
Oh.
Still owner of the Colts.
The dad is 60-something, and the son is like 50. So it's like, it ain't, the franchise not getting younger. Then the stepson and the wife will take over when they die, when they're 75, 68.
Look at the Hunt family with Kansas City. Like, they're going to have that shit forever. You know what I'm saying? The grandfather was super up, the son up, the grandson is running it now. He worth $2 billion. Like, it's so much money in it that I personally at times just question if they're ever going to let certain things just go on. Because it's too much money that has been built. And look at the whole Jerry Jones shit.
Yeah, that was wild.
That shit just went away.
That just went away.
It did.
That's like a week. They talk about it for a week. He stopped talking.
The black media wouldn't even talk about it.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Stephen A. said he's my
They wouldn't
friend.
even speak on it.
He's my friend.
Yeah, NFL is definitely beer and pickup truck vibes.
Oh, yeah.
I give you that for sure.
And that'd be my thing at times where it's like we can't escape racism. It's just impossible. It's everywhere. It's embedded in us. And sometimes you see these reminders of it, even with all the money, even with all the shit that's going on. It just is like, wait, what? Right. Like, so that Lamar Jackson, that shit like really annoyed the fuck out of me. While all that's going on, and I'm seeing these people, like I'm seeing Raven fans, just like, fuck to pay him for.
Yeah.
Then I see Daniel Jones with no hiccup, no bullshit, nothing.
And he was talking heavy like, y'all better pay me.
Dog.
Daniel Jones demanded it.
You know Daniel Jones doesn't have like a single accolade.
I don't
Like
remember.
nothing.
I was just thinking.
I don't think he's ever
done.
thrown more than like 16 touchdowns in a season.
Daniel Jones has never like won Player of the Week.
Buck 60.
It's crazy. And don't get it fucked up. I'm cool with Daniel Jones getting that money because I know that these owners and these teams are making that money. My thing is when you see the black quarterback who's the stud and the star, don't give me no shit about paying for what or, oh, is that a good investment? And fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Where I kind of got cooked with the NFL was the whole Colin Kaepernick shit because it was like, this is clearly collusion. Like, this is clearly collusion. And then what really made me tap out was he took them to court, basically had discovery, proved the collusion, and they was like, take the 60 million. Take the 60 million. And then he proved himself to be a false prophet and a fake martyr. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know about this shit. This shit weird.
Out and he been
that
chilling
nigga took
ever
that
since.
money and been producing bad TV shows and shit like that.
Too.
Yeah, he got a TV show coming out with like Hulu or some shit he doing. Some more biracial media production from Colin Kaepernick. He came out last week, said that he's now realizing that Colin Kaepernick's a fuck nigga. He came out last week and was like, I realized that my white parents didn't have any cultural sensitivity, and it's like they white people from Northern California, bro. Like,
yeah, I saw somebody.
What did you expect?
Somebody was saying, yeah, like all your parents did was make sure you ain't get in trouble and got you to the league, like, and you complaining.
Like Colin Kaepernick's a bitch ass nigga, yo. He complains and cries about everything. That shit is embarrassing, yo. He's a fucking wimp of a black man, yo. That shit is sad, yo.
Man, people have turned on Colin Kaepernick.
I've been turned on him. Like, he's a fuck nigga, yo. Like, once you had the NFL by the balls, you could have upended the whole shit. And it was like, man, take the 60 million. He like, I still get to play, nigga, please. All right, man, give me the money, nigga, please.
Nigga, please.
I still get to play. Yeah, in your backyard, dickhead. Like, fuck you talking about?
Damn.
Yeah, I ain't fucking with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, man, ain't nobody's trying to be a martyr no more.
Yeah,
not with get the bag culture.
Not when Rolls Royce put out the new Cullinan. Yeah. Like, have you seen the Mansory edition?
Like, come with being a martyr and standing up. Come on a lot.
Like, here's the thing. Back in the day, you could be a martyr and be within the same economy and class as like everyone else. Mm-hmm. Think about that. Martin Luther King is a martyr. Malcolm X is a martyr. They lived relatively okay lives.
Mm-hmm. All the hoes.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you a martyr, chances are you ain't even close to like Jay-Z and, you know, all these different Robert Kraft. And all. It's just not even close. So it's like, why be a martyr when I could get the 60?
Yeah.
And the Mansory Cullinan
and just be good.
Like I just ordered the Ferrari SUV. I don't know if you've seen it. It's real nice. like I'm not fucking. And that's the problem with being a martyr, especially a black one, is that nobody's gonna stand with you for an extended amount of time. Like niggas will stand with you to a point.
They gonna try to figure out what's up with what's up with you.
Yeah.
Like.
Niggas gonna stand with you to a point until it start personally affecting they shit. Then it's like, I ain't kneeling no more.
Yeah.
I gotta think about my future and my family.
If you watch the Mahmoud Abdul Rauf documentary and you see how like no one stood with him, no one fucked with him, no one wanted to like back him or just give him a shoulder, nothing. So for me to look up and see all of this kneeling and holding hands before the game and they showing JJ Watt down on it's just like
I think that's happening. I think that's because now with social media, all the backlash be too strong. It's coming from too many ways. So for you to jump out there and stand on something, it take a lot, yo. It take a lot. It take a lot, bro.
How do y'all view that as media people? Do you care about backlash and shit?
I mean, it can help you. The backlash. I mean, depending on what you're talking about, what you're standing on. In the music.
I mean, I care. Sometimes it's more annoying than anything.
It's super annoying.
It's more annoying.
The best way I can encapsulate what modern day backlash is the Fresh and Fit situation. Fresh and Fit fucking had an old clip from a podcast they did where they said, we don't dabble in the dark, meaning we don't really fuck with black chicks like that, blah, blah, blah. People thought that they were going to be able to cancel these niggas by sharing the clip along with their other controversial media and telling people, this is crazy, how dare you, da-da-da-da-da. They literally got bigger after that. So that let me know all this outrage and all this backlash and all this shit, it's all bullshit. Because as much as you were trying to shine a light on them being a piece of shit, what you really did was showed other people that think what they think. Yeah. These are your idols.
Most people scared of it though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like most people don't want the smoke.
If you're willing to stand in the fire, it's a lot of money on the other side of that shit. Unless you Alex Jones, then you know your life gonna get fucked up at the end of it.
Alex Jones is a dickhead though. But like at the end of the day, me personally, I don't like. I think I've gotten to a point in life where I do a very, very good job at like just logging out.
That's the key.
That's the
That is the key.
Like that, I got that clip of me talking about LeBron, and it's it's at like 3 million views now.
On Clutch Time.
Yeah.
It's
and literally, it's like people continuously send it to me or whatever. And I went on there the other day, and I mean, like, it's people in the comments like, "Fuck you, you." Jordan must have beat you the fuck up back in the day. I'm just like, yo,
all her making sense.
like, what the fuck? And I honestly, I didn't even know. Because I just hadn't been in the comments. I don't care.
It's really just people in the phone. That's all it is.
Saying anything. Like, literally, I showed it to them. Like, the one guy, he was cursing me out, doing this crazy shit. Then the next comment out of his mouth was like, did LeBron even fucking go to a championship with the Lakers? And I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah.
He won one. Finals MVP.
Like, what the fuck? And it's that shit where, like he say, emotion and grape soda. Right. So it's like, yeah, if your dad left and you angry and you get a phone in your hands, you willing to say anything. Yeah. So it's like, this isn't my place to do this. And I try to have this conversation with like my younger cousins, whatever, because the younger kids, this shit is like life.
Yeah, it is.
Like, this is they knew. We remember life before. Like,
I tell my daughter all the time, like, you don't even know life before these phones. Like
what's crazy is, younger kids who do gaming, they don't understand gaming not on the internet.
Without streaming, yeah. Imagine.
Like gaming for us was walking to your man crib with your controller in your hand.
The memory card is
We gonna get it on today.
Yeah. No, he fired the other day. I had my squad ready, but I got my memory card, nigga. It's on today.
Playing with the Rams today.
I got the new roster, nigga. Like, you don't know, y'all got that bullshit as AOL in this house. Yeah. So they don't understand a world without it. So for them, it's like, what do you mean something exists?
And they don't need to.
Into this.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But for us, we really come from a place of this shit didn't even exist. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
And that was controlling.
Like I was fucking and buying cars and fucking getting drunk and buying weed. You remember you used to have to like go find the weed man. There was no app. There was no dispensary.
You had to walk on the street and risk your life.
Dog, I said it the other day. Like, me and Dan went to the dispensary. I held the door open and an old lady came out with a walker. I'm like, this is crazy. like, back in the day, you had to go find the weed man, and your man would be like, oh, I got this shit from 57th and C. And now you up there, like, who got some tree out there?
Baba out here?
Yeah.
Just random.
Oh, my man, hold on. Yeah. Yep. And you just on a random block buying drugs.
Man, I was up 17th in Cayuga one night buying some sour.
Beef and diamond.
Dog. I can remember going to fucking, what was it?
108.
We used to be up north fucking Philly buying weed. My man, like, no, they got the coffins.
Them coffins? I remember them coffins.
We used to be up there buying weed from the strangest looking niggas on the planet.
They telling you park up in some back block. I'm like, nigga, I'm from Delaware.
Turn your lights off. Turn your lights
park
off.
Right there, turn your lights off.
Yo! Like, so, we remember what it was like before the way it is now. And for people who don't, or people who might have been built in this shit, or even when you look at a lot of this media, it's a lot of like names and entities running around who built themselves up on these apps, on these socials, on this and the third. And one thing I always kind of liked was me being Matt makes me sick. I kind of just I used to go to the park and talk shit all the time. So people like, yo, it's crazy because you've really been doing this since like the rec days and shit. And it's just like, yeah, like that was kind of always me, fucking with people, making jokes, whatever. There's no difference to that. And I've kind of just like watched good people lose their minds.
Turn you to a fucking maniac.
It turn up, yo, like do you know anybody where you've seen like
I've seen
I've watched the progression of like good guys, good women, all of that shit, just like completely lose it. Fucking around with this social media shit, and it just be like, yo, you gotta log out, yo. You went way past your free trial. Like, maybe you shouldn't have gotten that AOL disc back in the day. Like, because you got, and I said it the other day, and this is just honestly where I'm at. I honestly think my internet shit is like going to be done in the next couple months. Like, just completely, where it's like I might fuck with like the business page, like, but at my personal job, I remember. You remember Reem?
Yeah.
Yo, Reem. I remember when he deleted his shit years ago, and I was just like, how is he gonna go on? How is he gonna go on? And you know, he went on. And I think about that shit now, where it's just like, yeah, I really do. I'm sick of all the capping, the frauding, the nonsense, the lying,
all the info. Sometimes we don't need
egregious-
we don't need to know all the stuff.
Yo,
that
I've been
we know.
unfollowing shit left and right, where it's like all of that, like literally, even down when it comes to like the bitches on Instagram. And this is like, I know that they'll protect women.
Shout
fuck
out to
all
the
that.
bitches.
Well, I tell people you need a burner account. You need a whole new algorithm.
Listen,
you need a whole
I was
separate
literally
algorithm.
looking at it the other day, and I'm just like, yo, can the asses get any bigger? This is insane. Like,
Yo, remember what it used to be to see a fat ass? Like, you knew who the woman was, what block she was from.
What block she was from?
Now it's like, you numb to it.
Yeah.
I never thought we would get to the day where it was like ass overload.
Yeah.
It's ass overload. It's like, another fat ass. Like,
We went to Fresh Grocer. And why the hell was I at a Fresh Grocer?
Slumming.
I was slumming.
Be more?
Oh, I was at my man crib and he ain't had no drinks for a little festivity. So I was like, he's like, yeah, can you go get some drinks? I'm like, all right. So I ran to a Fresh Grocer that was like near his house or whatever. And we got in there and the sodas were so fucking expensive because we in Philadelphia. Yeah, and I was just like, yeah, I'm about to go the fuck back out the county, get some sodas and come the fuck back. So I saw they had a specific soda that had like a deal. It was like the 12 packs was like 2 for $13 or some shit like that. I'm like, I'm gonna get them, but you needed the little card.
Oh, the Fresh Grocer.
So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go get in line. And she was just like, you doing too much. I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna save my money. I went and got in line at the customer service counter. The girl came up and she was like, yeah, can I help you? I'm like, yeah, I need a little Price Club card or whatever. She turned around and dog, her ass was, I was like, damn. Loud as shit. And I was
Y'all out here in the wild doing regular jobs with these giant asses.
Customer service at the
You at the
market.
you at the daycare, ass huge,
BBLs
knocking the
the
kids
day.
over.
Yo, I
You
couldn't
probably
believe
thought, what's
that
her?
shit.
I wonder what her gram is. She got to be on the gram with
I
ass
couldn't
like
believe that shit. I was like, God damn. And it's just like, that's where we are now, where it's overload. And then you factor in, on the flip side, the jewelry, the excessive lifestyles, like literally you got to a point now where I know 2 people who went to Poppy Steak and got the big gold steak with the briefcase and both of them was like, yeah, the steak was mid. And it's just like, yeah, of course it was
I'm
mid.
never going to Poppy Steak
I was
again.
talking about that. Like, on Instagram, it looks great aesthetically.
It was mostly the
person
gram
is
that
so-
fucked us up.
it's
It was the
small
gram
person.
that did
Poppy
it.
Steak is this apart.
Yeah, small
That's the
thing.
whole Poppy Steak.
It
It's the
was so
size
close,
of this
tables close
conduct. Raj was just there the other day. He was like, yeah, it's way less impressive in person.
Most people, 2 people I talked to who had that big $1,000 steak was like, yeah, the steak was mid. That joint was not it.
You gotta get private room. That's the only way I can go. Private party.
Yeah.
It's all because the gram,
I don't
man.
want you dancing with my steak either. I don't know about all dancing. I don't need all.
You got to be violating serve safe guidelines.
Put my steak down.
Y'all throwing it across the market like it's a tuna down on 9th Street. Like, yo, put that
Why
shit
my steak in
down.
a suitcase?
Yeah, like, but again, that's where we've gotten to where it's like this social media shit. I think it's going off the rails
It's
really
over.
bad, and it's forcing a lot of good people to do a lot of shit that they just wouldn't normally.
You gotta think, if you like a 20-year-old boy and you looking at the gram, you probably thinking the only people that have fun or a good life is niggas that get money or beautiful women with fat asses. Everybody else is a dub. Like, man.
Everybody showing their highlights.
I don't know.
There's no bad
It's the
highlights.
super highlight reel.
Yeah, super highlights.
The super highlight reel.
yeah,
just
but
what
it's
it
like
is.
it's like the super highlight reel on steroids.
On steroids.
It's like motherfuckers is literally showing you all of they buzzer
Yeah,
beaters.
this whole shit. It's all ball is life. The whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Crossovers and slam dunks, alley-oops.
It's like, imagine if Steph just showed you the shot against the Thunder over and over and over again. Like, that's all the shit has become.
It makes me think, like, which generation gonna be the one to rebel?
Yeah, the one that's gonna crack the algorithm and
which one
go back to just genuine.
It ain't gonna be
but
no time
it's
soon.
It's
You
starting.
think so?
It's starting now. This current generation has basically said we don't fuck with Instagram. They've removed
Oh, yeah, that's a
themselves
fact.
from Instagram and they've gone to TikTok because
That's a fact.
it's
That's a
more
fact.
fun. It's more loose. We dancing.
My daughter don't fuck
we
with
talking about
Instagram at all.
music. We doing green screens. We doing product reviews. We doing real interviews. We doing street interviews. All like they've rebelled against the aesthetic of Instagram. So I think it's already starting where it's like people are realizing like, yo, at 13, 14, they realizing like this is ridiculous. Like this is not regular life, and if it is, it's not regular life for me. I'm gonna go somewhere else where people just being normal and having fun.
But I think all of it, not even necessarily Instagram or like the social, but I just feel like even like the Tinder and Bumble shit, it's taking a lack of personality away from people. Because back in the day, like you was just saying, you knew where the fat ass was. You knew who had big titties in your neighborhood. I'm going down there with Shakia because Shakia had them titties.
And you had to know what you was gonna say.
Dog.
When you saw her.
I'll never forget, we went to the gallery. We was young boys. We was like 13, 14. And I kind of was just like, yo, like, you know, I want some hoes, man. Like, I remember I didn't know what to, I want some hoes, man. And I honestly
these Cinnabons is great. Where's the bitches at?
And it's like, yo, in my mind, I'm like, you need a fly line. I'm listening to L, Cool J and shit. I'm like, you need a fly line to hit a chick with. And my man went over and started talking to this chick, like, right outside the food court. And he came over like, yeah, she gave me her number, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, what you say? Like, what you say to the man? Like, tell me, like, because...
Yup, it was that was
time, yeah.
Like, you really had to, like... know what you was gonna say, put it together. Like you almost like doing that shit like a debate. Like if they come with this, I'm gonna come with that. Like, and now it's like you just swiping through shit. Oh, you like the way I look in this picture?
Yo.
You like the way I look in this picture? I like the way you look in this picture. We should fuck and see if we like that. And if we like that, maybe have a baby that we ain't gonna take care of. Like that's the way this shit is going. And all of it makes us less interactive. Our social skills are falling apart. You'd be surprised how like you go out in the world and you meet people and they can't hold a conversation. They don't understand many things. It's bad, yo. It's really bad. And I feel like all of it together is just beating our asses. Slowly but surely, it's beating us to the ground. Beating us down bad. You got literally, you know, jobs now have like used this shit. Yeah. When it comes to like the LinkedIns and all, like to where now you can literally like, you remember back in the day having to like go fill out a job application?
Online. Indeed, LinkedIn.
All that shit.
All that
Might get your interview right there.
Yeah.
on a Zoom.
On the Zoom.
On your phone.
Zoom. What's going on, man? Like, yeah.
That's crazy.
That shit is wild. And literally, I was saying the other day, like, somebody was like, damn, man, they want me to come in for an interview. I ain't done that shit in years. And I'm like, yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah, you got to break out that braided belt.
Them good shoes.
Yeah.
Them square loafs.
I can remember back in the day where motherfuckers would borrow shoes from me. I got a job, and you borrow them shoes real quick. They got no shoes.
Yeah, I ain't gonna need them once I get the job. It's warehouse, but for the interview, I gotta get right. I need the loafs. All right, real quick before we let y'all go, man. I teased it at the beginning. We got to talk about it because it's Nerd Man. Troy Ave has taken the world championship belt as the ultimate truth teller in urban history. This man in one day told on tax in court, added Obama on Twitter, and then dropped the diss record against the nigga he just told on in court all in the same day.
What do you mean he added Obama?
He added Obama. He added POTUS 44th, whatever the fuck President Barack was, and was like, yeah, these haters, they trying to stop me. I
thought you said he added he added Obama to the telling.
No.
Like,
He added him on Twitter to tell him that these haters ain't gonna stop him and that God is beautiful and I'm overcoming and despite what a hater tried to do to me.
Yeah, go ahead. Jay.
Man, listen. What we witnessed is a balloon of energy finally exploded. I seen this coming years ago. And it's going to be a hell of a documentary, I'll tell you that, for sure. It's going to be a hell of a documentary.
I think Hulu going to probably win the
Somebody going to pick up
Hulu
this story.
Hulu been doing some good rap documentaries. I think they're gonna win the rights to this joint.
Because it's a lot of backstories and.
He said the streets is a myth.
My problem with Troy Ave is very simple.
Well, this when it comes before you, I ain't going to cut you off, but it's all about when you're not likable. People don't forget the shit you said years ago that made them feel away, and it all comes back on them. This is what's happening to him right now.
Does he care?
I don't think he cares. He one of them people that he does not. He does not care at all.
Can I ask real quick? What did he do in court exactly? What did he say?
Oh, he said everything.
Well, he cooperated.
He told the truth. He's cooperating to the fullest extent of the law. He wore his nice Deacon Dr. Troy Ave suit to court, and he got up there and he talked about the whole incident, everything preceding the incident itself, what happened. We wrestled for the gun. This happened. He shot my man. Then I shot at him, and then he ran through the door. He told everything. Because when you see that video that hit online, there's a before and an after that is missing. So he filled in the blanks.
They only showing him.
Only show him blowing the 9mm. You know what I'm saying? But he filled in all of the blanks of before and after of what went on in that situation.
So what actually happened?
See, this is why I say this is going to be such a good movie or documentary, because it starts. You got to start from the beginning.
You got to start from the beginning
of his damn near beginning of Troy Ave career. He was on. He was rapping, and he got support from Twitter.
Super support.
Some was hesitant
because of Hovain. Let's let that be known. Hovain was a great person. Rest in peace, Hovain. And Hovain had so much goodwill with everybody because he was one of the most genuine niggas ever, that because of Hovain, people was like, all right, fuck it.
You was willing to help.
We're willing to help.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can.
With Troy Ave.
With Troy Ave.
At the beginning of his career.
At the very beginning.
Okay. I mean, that's how I got down with them. He stepped to me like, yo, I need your help.
Yes.
I'm like, all right, let's go.
Ran a digital media blitz, and it started with Black Twitter.
So Black Twitter was behind Troy Ave, supported him, posted stuff. Some was hesitant, some ain't really want to do it, but like you said, because of Hovain, all right, we looking out, boom. Got Troy lit. I was around for it. I seen him come up, and then he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. He was kind of cocky. Remember he dissed
He dissed the boy from Pro Era that committed suicide.
Then he dissed Kendrick. He started talking about weirdo rap.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of funny stuff going on, but he still had support. He was hot. He was hot.
Yeah,
I mean, he might not like this music.
I booked him.
He was hot.
He was hot. I booked him.
He was hot.
We brought him to Van. It was him and I think Aisha Diaz. We booked him.
That was hot.
Our first Sunday night event we did. We booked him.
He was hot, but he was still doing some stuff people would call question, but nobody was saying nothing though. Right. It just was kind of whispers of like, all right, Troy Ave kind of on some funny stuff. Taxstone come. This nigga Tax kind of came. If you want to like, he was kind of like
Tax was like
NWO coming through WCW,
like Drago.
Literally. Tax came with all the smoke and energy, and he came with receipts of a lot of the shit that Troy Ave was doing. Like the strong arm and Manolo Rose out of the All About the Money record. And a lot of the a lot of private conversations got made public because of Tax. And he's like, this nigga's not from Troy Ave. Don't nobody in Brooklyn know you. All the niggas that you hang with is from Ohio. Like, he was literally like, just like airing it.
And when Tax kicked that door open, it kind of gave a lot of people
oxygen
the green light to go,
yeah,
all right, yeah, fuck Troy Ave. And it was just a ball of I don't want to say, I guess bad energy towards Troy Ave. It just kept building up. I'll never forget when that flyer dropped of that show with Troy Ave, Casanova, Uncle Murda, T.I.
Yeah.
I said, this ain't gonna go good.
The show. Yeah, that was the show.
This ain't gonna go good. And it didn't go good. You know what I mean?
It went very bad.
It went very bad. And
so the night in question,
it was a T.I. show.
It was a T.I. show. But they was all opening. It was Uncle. It was.
They always there. Yeah.
All the niggas who
Maino, Casanova, Uncle Murda, Troy Ave in the same building. I was like, this shit real. I'm looking at it like, remember, you know how you look at the Lovers and Friends tour? I was like, is this song real?
this can't be
This
right.
can't be right. And it was like, yo, like who let? I don't know who booked that. Whoever they need to sue who booked that shit.
So according to Troy Ave, what happened was him and Banger was already there in the green room, whatever. Tax wrote his man Banger, Ronald McFadder, Banger.
Okay, I thought you said Bang'em like Bang'em Smurf.
No, Bang'em Smurf was in Belize.
Yeah.
Bang'em Smurf is very deported. So he said that, Tax came in, they seen Tax, and he tapped Banger like, look at this fucking clown, whoa. And then Troy said like, what up, nigga, or something to that effect, whatever. And then Tax came over there, and they got it popping. And then it turned into that, you know what I'm saying?
So they started rumbling.
Rumbling first, and then chitty chitty bang bang Tom. Did
Troy have the gun first?
No.
Okay.
All right, so I can't say allegedly. The grip analysis from the feds show that Taxstone was the owner of the gun. They found the whole trace of where the gun came from in Indiana, and there was a whole thing, whatever. So this whole time that he's been locked up, he's been doing his federal bid for the gun charge. So he already got 6 years, almost 7 years in on this gun charge. He's basically eligible to be released from jail soon on the gun portion of it. So now we're on the murder of Ronald McFadden.
Okay.
On a state level or whatever the case may be. So that's what Troy Ave is testifying on that part of this whole
Let me just say this. I'm envious
legality.
how this nigga has no clue what's going on.
Yeah. He's completely detached. He's completely detached.
No, because I just love how you have no clue of what's going on.
I mean, do you know who won the main event last year in poker? See what I'm saying? So continue. I want to hear this.
Yeah, so they started off as a fight, whatever. Tax go for the burner. They wrestling, boom, 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 gun going off, this, that, and the third. I think a girl got shot or some shit like that from
two
ricochet.
other people got
shot from a ricochet bullet and all this old shit. And then I guess once it was all said and done, Troy Ave gets the gun. Taxstone run out of the green room, whatever. That's when you see that infamous video of Troy Ave shooting, and then he looked, Banger is on the ground, shot, whatever the fuck, in the midst of everybody else terrified and fucking horror. And then now fast forward to where we are now, where this whole shit is on trial. So originally, Troy Ave was charged with the murder of his friend.
Because that's what I'm like kind of under the assumption. I remember when Troy Ave was supposed to be the one, because I remember seeing a video where he was shooting.
Right.
Okay, so I wasn't tripping.
So
I remember him. He was booked.
He was booked, yeah.
And didn't Tax lawyer put out a...
Well, he put in a legal motion, which, again, that's not
Saying
snitching because your lawyer is supposed to do that. Because, all right, perfect example, right? I had a situation where I went to court or whatever. I had like less than a pound of marijuana in my car. We did a summary hearing, went to trial. It's no jury, none of that shit. You just go in front of a judge. My lawyer's argument was somebody else in the car with you? Yeah, it was my girl at the time, whatever. He's like, all right, cool. Our defense is, how do you know it was his? It could have been her shit. Mm-hmm. He said it won't cause no additional charges to be brought forth for none of that shit. It's just like an open-ended defense of like, well, how do you know? How do you know? Like, it was two people in the car. Y'all arrested him because he was the driver. How do you know it was his? It might have been hers. Like, it's just an open-ended fucking defense that works a lot of time. People put this defense in for guns, for all kind of shit. It's not once they have,
because a lot of people try to make that as Tax told
telling.
too.
No, that's not telling. That was a Troy Ave thing. Well, the lawyer said, and you told the lawyer. Like, no, the lawyer's job is to mount a legal defense in your best case. If the lawyer comes to you straight up in a situation like this, like, you want to cooperate? No. All right, cool. So now that that's off the table, these are your options or whatever. So people definitely tried to whip that up into like,
you got all
telling.
these YouTube lawyers.
Yeah, no, that's not telling. Like, it's not. If your lawyer puts in a lead, they tried to do the same shit to Rondo number 9. Like, oh, his lawyer said, but the problem is that his co-defendant is locked up too. Mm-hmm. So on that, it's like y'all on the same case. So that's different than if it's just an uncharged person that was there when the crime allegedly took place. Right. You see what I'm saying? So like that's the difference in it or whatever. Because niggas fried Rondo number 9 for about a good month about that shit. Because again, a legal brief leaked or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's a messy ass situation. Troy Ave whole standpoint, and a lot of niggas that's still trying to find ways to support him is that, oh, I'm not going to jail for my enemy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, cool. That's a sound, reasonable reason to cooperate with law enforcement.
I mean, but either way, you cooperated.
But the problem with that is you were dope boy Troy with the bricks in my backpack, and you openly told 9,200 niggas over a decade that when I see you, it's violence. It's on. Y'all had a very public issue that everybody knew about. Tax talked about it. You talked about it. Y'all talked across each other, to each other about it. So when you see a nigga and then you say, yo, what up? You know what that is. So you don't get to turn around and mitigate it and make it like, oh, well, that nigga's a hater. And because it's like, the case could be made that you was hating on Manolo Rose and all of the fuck shit you was doing. You did a lot of bum ass shit over the course of whatever. It just didn't rise to the cause of like some violent clash that fucked everybody's life up or whatever.
It's just nasty all around, man. It's just like two energies. They finally clashed, and it just...
Two mountains won't meet, but two men will. And that's exactly what the fuck happened. These two men met, and one of them was with the shit, and the other one clearly was not, and was not prepared to give up his lifestyle and the money, bitches, and fast cars because they was going to keep it solid and keep it gangster. Like, that just isn't what it is. And the biggest problem I have with all of this is that a lot of the same motherfuckers that was like, 6ix9ine's a rat, they trying to find a way to make it to where Troy Ave is not a rat. And I'm like, listen, if there ever was a case in the history of rap culture where a nigga should have told, it was Daniel Hernandez against the non-Trey Bloods. Harv and that other nigga kidnapped him and was going to kill him. That is a fact. I heard the wiretap of the fucking drivers of their car and all of that shit. Like, they was going to
really
kill
be having
them.
all the info.
They was going to kill. Like, it's not a rumor. They kidnapped him with the plan of extorting him, and if he didn't have what they needed, they was going to kill him. These niggas is murderers, and they in jail right now for kidnapping and attempt murder.
Yo, the sick way a sick way I look at it, it's kind of like Troy Ave is trying to get the last laugh on this shit. Like, you ran my name through the mud.
He said
for
it
years.
Did you see him on Math Hoffa podcast?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
His new stance is, I'm doing anything I can to eliminate an enemy. I'm ruthless in that manner. I don't, for an op or a hater, I don't give a fuck what I got to do. And it's like, no.
See, that's the movie.
That's the movie shit. That's the movie plot. Like,
that is a hell of a spin to try to put. I'll do whatever it takes
to eliminate an op.
That's how much I hate a
You kind of
nigga.
see him in the court. He got his suit, and he kind of looking like, I got you.
I got your ass now. I'm getting it's one of them.
You
Jones.
ran my name through the mud and it turned the people against me.
You know, because that's like a thing. Like, in Central American and the Mexican cartels and all that, that's a thing. You could tell on a op. Especially if they from another culture. Yeah. Oh man, please tell on them. Like, you get elevated, you get points for that because you're eliminating an enemy however the fuck you can. This is not one of them scenarios. Y'all just two dickheads from Brooklyn. Like, this isn't
Brooklyn shit.
This is some nigger Brooklyn nonsense. Like, you don't know how to talk, Tax don't know how to talk, and when two niggas don't know how to talk, all that's left is they get it on.
Yeah.
I remember that shift when Tax. It was kind of overnight. People turned on Av, but he did it to himself with the energy he was putting out. But it just seemed like overnight people just started being out in the open with fuck Troy Ave. I'm like
disassociating themselves from him. Like, all right, I can't really fuck with him.
So is Tax pretty much done?
It's hard to say because it's a state case, and state cases they fuck up a lot. And all you got to do is create reasonable doubt. All you need is one juror to be like, no. Now it's a hung jury, and now your ass coming home pending a potential appeal. You know what I'm saying? Or the case getting refiled.
I could be wrong, but I don't even think they don't have one person really saying that Tax shot the gun. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's just nasty.
That's what I'm saying. It's enough reasonable doubt to where if he got any lawyer worth their salt as bad as it is to have like a murder trial, a murder case against you, this is like the one that you can beat. Like,
And I feel like if Troy Ave was more likable, he would have got at least a little tiny bit more leeway on the situation.
He operated with no humility for a decade. Like, and at the end of the day,
See, when you say it like that, it's like,
and
damn.
at the end of the day, when you make enemies, people like how you talk about that. He talking that ruthlessness shit. People are going to be ruthless and rooting for your downfall when you went out here and created enemies.
Yeah, I actually been around Troy Ave a couple times. He ran down on like bloggers and journalists, like, and people don't forget that shit, man.
Yeah, it's like
running down on a blogger is crazy.
Running down on a blogger
I witnessed
insanity.
it.
You was with him for this.
I've been with him one time when I actually was with him one time.
There you go, right there. Sure.
And I'm just saying, I was
I
with him.
that nigga bombs you times.
I was with him a time where he kind of put some pressure on, like, you know, journalists, like, yo, what's up? Like, why you ain't such and such? And they kind of, you can feel the energy, like, you know, them niggas don't forget that shit.
Getting a lot of support that way too. I feel like just from the street, strong arming. You know, relationships of course will help, but like a lot of the aggression helped too behind the scenes.
It's so many lessons to be learned with this situation, man. It's like, damn.
Yeah, it's a good 42 lessons to be
That's
learned.
a lot of lessons, man. Everywhere from being likable to just, I don't know, man.
I think that, you know, in that situation, I think Troy Ave made a lethal mistake, which I think he underestimated Tax. And he thought like, oh, it's me and my man. My man is a gangster. He dropped shit, this, and this. It's us two against him.
And we in a venue.
We in the venue.
In a green
he
room.
ain't got it on him. There's no way he got, and he had it on him. And now your man's dead. You shot. Like it's a mess of a situation. You know what I'm saying? And you know the whole thing is this: whatever niggas want to be, and they tell me they are, I believe them. You tell me you a gangster, I believe you. Yep. You tell me you a shooter, I believe you. You tell me you a pussy ass nigga, you don't want no trouble, I believe. Whatever you tell me, I believe you. Troy Ave told me he was a gangster for mad long. When I see niggas, it's violence.
For mad long.
I believe you.
Interviews and all.
So when shit get gangster, you don't get to turn around and be like, nah, I'm ruthless when I eliminate a op. Like, no, nigga, you a bitch ass nigga. And you ran into a nigga that was a superior male and was with the smoke. And you thought you was with violence until you got a real violent confrontation. And now you looking for the easy way out because you don't want to give up the money to bitches and fast cars. Like, it is what it is.
He gonna do that year. He said he can get a year maybe. Troy might get a year.
Yeah, he already did like 7 or 8 months. So
Troy Ave.
Yeah, he already did like 7 or 8 months on the initial Jones. So he gonna get time served for that. He ain't going back to jail. And he's painting the picture like, oh, I was charged. I don't think he was never. There's no court document that supports that he was charged with murder. He was just held in question. It's like so he working the spin machine as best he can. He got like a little $30 an hour publicist, and he's just trying to work the spin machine to the best of his ability. Like that nigga's a fuck nigga, yo. He's a bozo.
He ain't getting no blog. I mean, he getting New York Times and shit, but he ain't getting the covers like he used to. So nobody's really on his side as far as like the culture at this point. Everybody,
niggas on his.
You check his YouTube. His subscribers just keep going up.
It's like 95.5. Like 95% of the culture is like, flush this nigga. He's trash. The other 5% is really strongly holding the flag. Like, I ain't going to jail for no op. It's like, yeah, you work at Walmart. Right. Like, so yes, I understand. If a nigga come to Walmart and beat you the fuck up and clap you, go to court, testify, get this nigga locked up. He's a menace. If you a gangster rapper and you telling niggas when I see you is violence, you don't get to be like, oh man, this is unreasonable. Why would he put his hands on me?
This is unreasonable.
Why would he harm me? This don't even make no sense.
It's unreasonable. Let's talk about this.
This is
nasty, unreasonable. That's real shit.
But it was almost like the game. It wasn't big enough for both of them. It had to. It was too much.
Damn.
There's a lot of trolling going on in that situation.
Oh man.
So Tax is what did he get convicted? I mean, what did he get sentenced to with the
gun charge? Probably like 9 or 10 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy to think it's been 6 years already.
6.5. It'll be 7 years this summer.
Damn.
Yeah, niggas had a summertime shootout.
Tax might come home. You know?
Tax might come home.
He might come home.
If he beat this he get this shit off his head, he'd fuck around and come home soon. I know he in there probably teaching niggas art of podcasting and some more shit. Like, I know he got some good time. He gonna be able to give back. You know what I'm saying? He ready to come home if he beat this goofy shit.
Damn.
I
So
blame,
where
I
the
blame,
tax
I
come
blame
from,
whoever
Zach?
put all them niggas on the same bill, man.
You said where did he come from?
Yeah.
He was just a black Twitter nigga that was in the music space. He had a lot of influence as far as like, you know, breaking artists and stuff. And how he got big was from going at Ebro, basically saying like, Ebro, don't support the new wave of New York artists. Y'all got these nationally programmed playlists. Y'all don't break no artists, even though y'all mix show was trash.
I always knew he had the star in him because I used to post him on my old blog, Nerd at the Cool Table. He used to write like, he did like the 10 side nigga commandments.
Yeah.
Like he would do articles for me. And I used to tell him like, yo, you fun, like you should do stand up or something. Like you gotta be doing something more than this shit. Then he started the podcast and the nigga was lit. Like it was wild, man. It's just sad, yo. But
It's also sad. The tragedy here is even more so than Troy Ave fucking his name and his face up. The real tragedy is like Tax threw his life away in the name of being gangster. So this is like when keeping it real goes wrong moment. It's like, yo, you was just with you was just with Jay-Z and now it's like you in jail. Like you in federal custody, like on some weird shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's those black male rules of engagement where it's like, yo, niggas don't know how to turn down shit. Certain niggas just are who they are. Regardless of their ascension, how much money they making, how much opportunity they getting, at their core, they just are who they are. And he was just a nigga that was like an ape, like literally.
it made me think like, you mean to tell me it was nobody that could sit them down? It was no. You mean to tell?
At some point, they probably tried, but you know, ego.
But I think Av was getting off. The energy Av was giving off was crazy. Like it's almost like people wanted to see him crash out.
Yeah.
Hey man, we'll see what happens.
Rap game. Yeah. I need to start playing poker with you because this shit is fucking crazy.
But if y'all knew the ats I get, I'll be like, come on, man. I'm far removed from that shit.
I think you still with him.
They treating you like a unindicted co-conspirator.
I'll be like, yo, come on. See, I had stepped back from Av when you start dissing Hovain. Remember he was dissing his wife and his kids. I'm like, I can't. I got chill. You know what I mean? So I had been.
Wait, why was he dissing Hovain? Didn't Hovain get him his start though?
They start, bro. It's deep, man.
He got shot. He alleged that they left him and all. You know,
It was a lot going on. So he started dissing Hovain. And it just got real nasty.
Essentially, shit started getting gangster and he started unraveling.
It got nasty.
He had one too many violent confrontations for his liking, and he got into the rap game to fuck white hoes and shit like that. And because, you know, shit started getting real, he was just like, oh,
but when
no.
he was lit and everybody was supporting him, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to see how the people
like, oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was nasty. It was good to see when the people was lifting them up. But somewhere it went wrong, man.
Yeah.
Damn. It went wrong. This is like I said, the movie gonna be great. And it's a lot of lessons you can learn.
Who they gonna cast to play you?
I might just play myself.
Man. Nah, man, I got nothing else, man. I appreciate y'all time today, man. It's been a phenomenal show. Give everybody y'all socials, your points of contact, where they can find y'all, where they can subscribe to the show.
You can just go, for me, you can just go to nerdnash.com and everything there. My Twitter, my Instagram, my show with Legend, Breakfast Bars, my podcast. Shout out to Coach Marley, DJ No Answer.
What's up with Marley?
Everything there, nerdnash.com.
Breakfast Bars, BRK, FAST, Bars, BARS on all social media platforms. Just follow us, that shit sound weird. Like, comment, subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Use all that shit.
You gotta say it though.
I got my YouTube voice right.
Because if you don't tell them niggas to like or comment or subscribe, they won't do all three. Like you gotta tell niggas.
Niggas will leave a long comment but won't subscribe or like the shit.
Do all three, man. We appreciate y'all support. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Definitely. I love talking to y'all, man. It's almost like not an interview. It's just like
no.
rapping.
Right.
Like the same shit we talk on the mic is the shit we talk off the mic.
Exactly.
Like that's the best. But yeah, I got nothing else. We'll be back. We got some more Patreons dropping this week.
Yes, indeed.
We the interview with well, actually, I don't know when this is coming out, so shut up with this.
We got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff backlogged, man. Even more stuff we're gonna be doing in the next 2 weeks or whatever the case may be. As usual, if y'all not subscribed to the YouTube, about 85% of y'all not subscribed now. YouTube.com/@TRPE. Yeah.
We out.
Peace.